sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. Aspen Connor. I don't know why. Let me go check on Streamlabs for a second here. I don't see Streamlabs joining us. I need
They were in here
Streamlabs.
earlier, weren't they?
Streamlabs?
No, I guess maybe not. Maybe that was Stream. Maybe that was something else.
Yeah, on there. I don't know why it's not coming on. I don't know. Let me take a look. So give me a second, guys. Aspen, show your face.
Just a minute.
Yeah. Oh, that's Layla. That's Charmaine's granddaughter, you guys, right in front. So congratulations, of course, to grandma there, Charmaine. Hee hee hee. 1 second. Or yeah, 1 sec anyway. I don't know why Streamlabs isn't coming on. Come on, Streamlabs, get your act together. Let me see here, dashboard. Streamlabs. You painted like it's. There should be no reason why it's not on. But anyways, where is it? Streamlabs dashboard. I don't know what the heck's going on with these Streamlabs. What's going on with Streamlabs? I don't know. Give me like out of all days, why do you have to do that, Streamlabs? All right, are you there yet? No. All right.
Oh, I'm here. Yeah. I just sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem. Just give me a sec. Let me go figure this out for a second. Meet
Oh, you're
my
good.
Streamlabs in the house. 1 second. On there.
Let's see here. Sharon Parker is in the house. Hey, Sharon Parker. Charmaine is in the house. Congratulations on your grandbaby. She's gorgeous. Or perfect, whatever you want to say. CJK, always good to see you. Outback, good to see you. Hey, Gaming and Sleuthing. I know that woman's always scary, isn't she? In the intro. Shelby Rains. Shelby, did you have a different screen name before? Those gators look familiar. Crafty One, good to see you. Hey, Barb. Cheryl, good to see you. Allison, good to see you. Hey, Half Pint. And then I think we're Andrew. Hey, good to see you, Anne. And the Forgotten DV Survivors. Lori, good to see you. And I think I'm caught up.
Yeah, happy hump day. Happy hump day.
I have humped nothing
Did you
today.
get a hump today? I didn't get it. Did you? The
Nope.
biggest hump I went over was one of those little curves, you know, those little speed bumps. So unless I got humped by that, that's pretty much it. Hey, Ann, how are you? Okay. Oh, so yeah, Streamlabs decided to turn itself off. It's so funny how just randomly it does that stuff. Anyways, so congratulations again to Charmaine. Aspen, didn't Charmaine say that when she had her granddaughter, pretty sure it was 500 memberships the whole live was going to be just Rickrolling.
Pretty sure.
I think I recall that. I'm pretty sure that was in writing as well, to be honest with you. I want her to feel guilty, yeah? So I want to see 500 come up there. No, just kidding. Anyways, hey, you guys. So we're going to be talking about Riley Strain. We're going to say Riley Strain, Sebastian Rogers, and, of course, say those two moms, the, sad, tragic story. Actually, they're looking for a fifth person, I hear, for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did not read the PCA for that.
Yeah.
But I did see that they were in court today. And just the details that have come out are, ugh.
Yeah, well, I was going to.
It's so sad that any situation can get to that point, but
it's just, yeah, when I look at the, oh shit, you guys, I'm really bad right now. Actually, I'm not going to say it because if I can't remember their names at this moment, yeah, I went to go say it and I drew a freaking ass blank.
Right. Hey, Miranda. Good to see you,
Hey,
Miranda.
Yeah. Anyways, other than that, it's sunny out today. Beautiful and sunny. You're welcome. Anyone that's in BC, you're welcome. Anyone that has sun, you're welcome. It was last 2 days. I walked to work and I walked right on back. Yeah, 20-minute old jaunt. But this morning it was a little bit brisker. Thank goodness I was wearing a scarf. So I was like wrapping my hands in it, going, "Ooh, you little buggers are getting cold over there." Because I'm kind of one of those ones that I usually go out without a jacket on. Doesn't usually matter how cold it is. I'm just like, I'm warm-blooded. I got this. Anyway, yeah, I live here in Oklahoma. It's all over our TV here, of course.
I bet.
Okay, so we're gonna take this beautiful Layla off of the screen here. So again, congratulations to Charmaine.
She made her YouTube debut.
Yeah, right. I know. There was she sent a video of the baby getting bathed. I'm sure my husband would love to hear that. My husband cannot stand the sound of children screaming. Honestly, if we're in a restaurant and he likes kids, he never wanted any himself. But when
Right.
he hears children, he's like, can they just shut their kids up? And I'm just like, I know, right? Because that stuff doesn't bug me. But for him,
the parents usually bother me. It's not the kid.
Right? It's usually the parents.
Anne said, Sonny Adam, no risque jokes around the baby. But Anne, I'm pretty sure that's how the baby got here.
What did Anne say? Oh,
she said no risque jokes around the baby.
Oh, right. I know, Anne. Birds and the bees and the. Okay, so okay, let's start off with what eeny meeny miny mo. Okay, let's start off with you guys have got to see Ashley Badenfield's face where I stopped this. Okay, look at that. Look at that face. That's only a face, Ashley, right now that only a mother could love. Swear on it. Okay. So this is, of course, to do with the two moms' bodies that were found in Oklahoma. Such beautiful ladies and such, this reminds me of, well, this is similar to the Adelson case. Really, it's actually very similar to the Adelson case.
I mean, it's definitely got some twists and turns for sure. And the planning that apparently went into this.
Well, that's just it, right? Isn't it? It's just so crazy what people do. Like, and then they think that they're going to get away with it,
right.
And then,
and just the braveness of that 16-year-old girl to go to law enforcement. And you guys will all see after we play.
I was going to say, let's play this here, you guys, with Ashley. Play this out, and we'll talk about it.
Hardest and most dangerous cases for our whole system of justice, and there really shouldn't have been any doubt because I kind of scream it from the rooftop a lot. But I will submit to you tonight the breathtaking climax of a mystery that we've been reporting on now for 2 weeks. The disappearance of these two women, Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly, on a backcountry road in the Oklahoma Panhandle. Tonight, we know exactly what the Oklahoma authorities believe happened to these women. both of whom live just across the state line in Kansas. And we know exactly who they think is responsible. It's a little bit of what you probably suspected and a lot of what you didn't. First, let's just go with the headline. 2 bodies recovered, 4 people arrested. It is heavily presumed, but not yet confirmed, that those 2 bodies are Veronica and Jillian.
Is there confirmation at this point that the bodies recovered are Jillian and Veronica?
Not at this time. We have, we identified that there were 2 bodies during our search. Both of those deceased persons have been transported to the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, where they will do a proper identification and also look into a cause and manner of death. The 4 people that we were looking for were found, arrested, and placed into custody within the same day, and there was no resistance.
The 4 suspects he referred to are the grandmother of Veronica's kids, Tiffany Adams, up there in the top left corner, along with Tiffany's boyfriend, Tad Cullum, with the big long beard. And then a couple whose names we had not heard before, Cole and Cora Twombly. They're occupying the bottom 2 spaces of that grid. Tonight, each of them is charged with the following: 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder, and 2 counts of kidnapping. And something else those 4 allegedly have in common, besides an elaborate criminal conspiracy, is a quasi-religious, anti-government group called God's Misfits. This is a lot to unpack. But let me tell you, it is well worth the effort. So pull up your chair, nice and close, and get comfy. The whole thing starts and ends allegedly with that custody battle over Veronica's kids. The kids that she had with a man named Wrangler Rickman. That's him. But you will note that Wrangler Rickman is not on the list of people arrested. The victims were trying to pick up Veronica's kids with Wrangler from Wrangler's mom, the kids' granny, Grandma Tiffany, Tiffany Adams, who is on the list of arrested people. Grandma Tiffany had custody of the kids while her son Wrangler, the dad, was in prison and then later in court-ordered rehab, so his alibi is, well, seems airtight anyway, right? Veronica was allowed visits with her kids every Saturday, but there had to be a court-approved supervisor. And the woman who usually did the supervision was not available March 30th. Or so Grandma told the investigators. But the investigators later found out that unbeknownst to Veronica, the mom, of course, Veronica's the mom, don't forget, Grandma had told the supervisor, just go ahead and take a couple weeks off. I'm gonna do some, I'm gonna do some questioning of my kids here, find out, how they're doing. But you go ahead and take a couple weeks off. She wasn't not available. Grandma told her to take a few weeks off. So that left mom, Veronica, forced to find a replacement. If she wanted to see her kids, she still had to have a supervisor, right? And that replacement was Jillian Kelly, this beautiful woman on the right, totally unsuspecting. A victim who may or may not have known what an ugly, sickening custody dispute she was being drawn into. Grandma was due to meet up with Veronica and Jillian, the supervisor, to hand over the kids at 10 o'clock in the morning at that spot right there. This is the day before Easter, right? The planned location was this abandoned gas station at the intersection of 2 highways in Texas County, Oklahoma. But that rendezvous never happened. Allegedly, Grandma Tiffany had no intention of giving Veronica her kids. Not that day, not never. And what she did have in mind, allegedly, she did not carry out alone. Remember those names that are new to the story, Cole and Cora Twombly? Okay, well, here we go. Investigators talked to the Twombly's 16-year-old daughter, who essentially blew this case wide open. The daughter says her mom, and I think it's her stepdad, because she's got a different name and it seems her dad is a different dad, but she basically says that her mom and that guy, her stepdad, along with Grandma Tiffany and Grandma Tiffany's boyfriend, Tad, that all 4 of them got together every week as part of that group I mentioned, the God's Misfits, that religious anti-government group. The group often met up at Cole and Cora's house. And Cole and Cora's daughter overheard some things and saw some things. And she says that Grandma Tiffany gave everybody, quote, burner phones, and that she saw 2 of those burner phones charging on her mom's nightstand. She says the night before Veronica and Jillian vanished, this teenager says that Cole and Cora, her mom and her stepdad, they told her that they were going on a mission, that they would not be there when she woke up in the morning. And sure enough, that teenager says they were not there when she woke up in the morning, and they did not get back until noon, driving separate pickup trucks. And then apparently those parents asked that teenager to clean inside one of those trucks. Clean inside one of the trucks. The teenage daughter was so curious as to what her parents had been up to. And amazingly, she says they told her everything. Allegedly, they told the teenage daughter that they blocked the road that Veronica and Jillian were traveling on, and that they diverted that car to where the others were just down the way waiting. Allegedly, Cole and Cora Twombly told their daughter, quote, things hadn't gone exactly as planned, but they wouldn't have to worry about Veronica anymore, end quote. That teenage daughter says she asked her mom why Jillian, the innocent supervisor, had to die if their problem was with Veronica, the mom of the kids. And her parents allegedly said that Jillian wasn't innocent either because she was helping Veronica. That teenage daughter also asked whether the women's bodies were put in a well. She says her parents allegedly told her, quote, yeah, something like that. In fact, the bodies were found yesterday below a dam in a pasture about 8 miles away from where the women were killed. According to court documents, investigators, quote, found fresh dirt work where a hole had been dug, filled back in, and covered with hay, end quote. Early on, the authorities had gotten a search warrant for Grandma Tiffany's phone. And wouldn't you know it, here were the web searches that they found on Grandma Tiffany's phone. Taser pain level, gun shops, prepaid cell phones, and, quote, how to get someone out of their house. They also learned that Grandma had bought 5 stun guns on March 23rd, a week before the women went missing. She also bought 3 prepaid cell phones, burner phones, which all were later tracked to the spot where Veronica's car turned up abandoned, and where 2 of those burner phones were tracked to the very spot where the earth had been dug up and filled back in on the dates and the times in question. Veronica and Jillian's phones both went silent at 9:42 a.m. the day they disappeared. As for that crime scene, the abandoned car, we now know what the police found in and around Veronica's abandoned car. It was, quote, evidence of a severe injury. Also, Veronica's glasses were found in the road near a broken hammer. And a pistol magazine was found in Jillian's purse, but no gun. Let me just stop there for a second. Jillian's purse. Jillian's the supervisor. Apparently, Jillian may have suspected that things might go south because she had a pistol magazine in her purse. No pistol. It's also the first we're hearing that a purse was left behind in that vehicle. And still, after all of that, not every question is answered. At least one mystery remains. The teenage daughter who gave investigators so much information said 5 people were involved in the killings. The 5th name that she gave, also an alleged member of God's Misfits, his name is Paul Grice. But I'm going to be dead serious here. It is not clear tonight who Paul Grice is and why Paul Grice was not arrested and charged, at least with conspiracy, like the rest of them. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation.
1 second here. Brown, back on 1 second. Okay. So that's just like I said, so disgusting, eh? So sad listening to it on there. Yeah, just whack. And then hold on a second. Let me find it. 1 second. I got a couple up here. I got so many tabs open. Okay, let me see this one. Okay, but let's watch this one quickly as well.
Yeah.
On this. Okay.
Why is, Brian, take me to that.
I don't know why.
Tell me everything you know about the land, the landowner, and what you were able to see.
Yeah, first of all, actually, bear with me with the weather because it's been crazy here on the Oklahoma-Kansas line. We had a wind advisory today. There was a tornado last night, and now there's another big storm moving in. So it's going to get a little wet, but I want to get to all of our points. Yes, I went to the house in the area where the bodies were discovered. It's about 8.5 miles or so from where the mom's car was left in a very rural area. It is a piece of land that Tad was renting, was leasing out from an owner there. And there was a barn there. The bodies were discovered near a dam. There was some digging, and that's when they found them. The owner I met with, he was crying when he was telling me the story. Totally shocked by all of this. Can't believe it. Can't believe this happened on his land. Was shocked when the police showed up and started digging. But that is where those women were found, Ashley.
Okay, so now tell me, there's so much I want you to unload here, but you also got an interview today with Tad Cullum's business partner, who happens to be a municipal judge, who was coincidentally there at Tad's house while Tad's house was being raided. And then there's been a big twist tonight. Tell me everything that's happened.
There is, and I'm going to get to the twist in a second because this is really crazy and goes back to the point that people here are very scared to talk. But yes, we talked to the municipal judge here, happened to be walking by, got in the car with me and chatted. He is a good friend of Tad. He is a business associate. They were working together. He was at Tad's house when the SWAT team showed up. You remember Nancy Lou had that crazy video. The SWAT team showed up, and he was there. He had a gun pointed at his face, he says. And he also knows a little bit about this group, the God's Misfits, the religious cult group. I asked the judge about it. Listen to what he told me, Ashley.
When's the last time you saw Tad?
I was there when they raided it.
You were there.
Tad and I have been working together the last month in a business, and I was down there when it was raided.
What was that like?
Being with a military past in Vietnam, it brought back some really bad memories. Looking down the barrel of those rifles, it was very hard for me. It brought back a lot of memories, a lot of bad things.
Did you ever get a bad vibe from Tad?
No. Tad was one of the nicest, funniest. I seen him almost on a daily basis this last month. We were working together. I couldn't even believe he was involved in it.
What about Tiffany?
I didn't see her a lot. I've known her for years. Always thought she was just a little bit out in left field. But again, just never believed that they would do this kind of thing.
According to the affidavit, they were involved in this group, God's Misfits.
Yes.
What do you know about that?
Never even heard of it until this come up. Knew zero, nothing about it.
And what have you learned?
To me, and what I've heard, and I can't say this for fact, what I've heard, it's kind of like a cult. A lot of cults use God as their background to justify what they're doing. To me, that's what it sounds like.
Are they anti-government?
Very, very anti-government.
Okay, so in a very strange twist, Ashley, I just was notified that judge was forced to resign after doing that interview with me this afternoon. The mayor, he was appointed by the mayor, and the mayor basically said, "I'm not happy you did the interview and talked about any of this," and said, you know, we want your resignation. And he had to submit a letter of resignation. Keep in mind, he didn't talk at all about, you know, anything in a professional sense. He's just a municipal judge. He has nothing to do with the case at all. Just goes back to like why people are not wanting to talk around here, how powerful these suspects are. And now this judge is out of a job just for telling us that story this afternoon.
And again, that story has absolutely nothing to do with the murder or the evidence or anything, just the experience of what the arrest was. It's astounding. And I'm sorry, Brian, you're getting pelted with rain. I can't let you go, though. Did this judge know anything about Paul Grice, that fifth man that we are mystified about? Does he know him? Does he know why he wasn't arrested? Any info?
No, he knew absolutely nothing about him, which is interesting because he knows pretty much everybody in town. Everybody we've asked for the most part doesn't know much about him. I mean, you touched on it earlier, though. He was also, according to authorities, part of God's Misfits, the group. He was apparently involved in this plot to kill Veronica. back earlier this year. So we know that from the affidavit, but we're not really having an easy time getting other information on him and why he wasn't arrested. Is he perhaps now cooperating with the investigation? We haven't been able to nail that down at this point.
Thank you for watching. Go.
Oh, there we go. Is that so? Anyway, crazy all the way around, eh? So I'd seen that one yesterday.
Yeah.
With the judge, and he's like, "Yeah, great guy." Oh, look at that! He's charged with murder, but it's crazy. This whole thing, to be honest with you, and it definitely gives, like I said, for me, the Adelson vibes here of that case with the freaking grandma, as basically getting her dentist son to kill the ex-wife, or no, the ex-husband, sorry.
Right.
And anyways, crazy. But anyways, so for Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly, two beautiful ladies. When I was going to say, when I look at Veronica, I can't help it. She reminds me of my redheaded niece. She reminds me of that, but she also reminds me of someone else. And I can't put my finger on it. But I just I find I keep looking at her face, and I keep looking at Jillian's face, and just two beautiful ladies, and just wacko jacko cult thing, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I can't even remember what was the cult thing called again. The something, whatever they were called there.
Oh
anyway,
God! Wait, what was it? Lord, I can't remember now. Misfits, God's Misfits.
God, whatever. Yeah, is that what they were? Well, that definitely Misfits. Look at them all. Seriously. And Tad, of course, is the one there that the judge was talking about. Looks like he can braid that sucker a few times over. But anyways, the thing is that we never really covered this story. I kept watching stuff on it as it was coming, because it was kind of like, okay, these, right from the start, it was said that it was something to do with family. I remember there was something too about they asked the family not to do interviews because it was to do with family or something like that.
Right.
I remember listening to that, but it's just like, yeah, out of all of this too, like I said, kudos to the 16-year-old, like I said, who broke the case, I guess, wide open there, and basically said, did the right thing.
100%.
So I guess we'll see who this Bryce person is or something soon enough. Why, like I said, why he wasn't charged or whatever. Who knows? Anyways, Tad is connected in my information. Okay. So we're going to be moving on to Riley's strain, guys. But anyways, of course, said prayers for Jillian and Veronica, two beautiful ladies, and then they have to deal with these little fucktards in the life.
Yeah.
And that's the joke of it. Okay, like people know, and people have said in chat right there. It was like, my cat's meowing here. This is what blows me away. So not only is the mother taken out, the dad is in some sort of rehabilitation-y thing or something like that, and it's like all these people now, grandma's gonna sit there behind bars, and the poor children that are involved in all this.
Absolutely.
All because some wacko there, Tiffany, and that doesn't want Veronica basically to have anything to do, with the whole custody thing, and just decides, you know what, let's just drop a plan here and take her out. And then we're going to be, like I said, a bunch of morons right from the get-go. Yeah. And digital data will get you every single time, pretty much.
And I don't think you followed this case. I know that Steffa and I have talked about it quite a bit, but
yeah,
there was a case in Ohio called the Piketon Massacre, and in that case, 8 members of one family were all killed in one night, and it was the same deal. It was all over a custody dispute, and it was the father's family, the baby's dad's family,
Yeah.
But yeah, and all 4 of them have gotten charged with murder, and
Yeah.
3 of them are serving their sentences. There's still 1 more trial to go, which isn't happening until next year. But yeah, people are going to extreme lengths with the custody stuff. It's
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
I mean,
It's just so
I
ridiculous.
mean, I get it. There's nothing you wouldn't do for a child, but I mean, this is taking it to an extreme.
Yeah.
Especially when there's nothing in this, in it. I mean, well, not that there's ever a justifiable reason to take someone's life, but by all accounts, the mother seemed to be a perfectly good parent. Like, the dad's sitting there in jail.
Yeah. Right. Her own kid, right? The reason why I know of that Picton one that you're talking about, or Piketon one, is because when I was doing the intro for Eric from the docket,
He covered that case.
Yeah.
Or covers it.
Yeah. Because in my head I was thinking like the Picton murders in.
Right, but it's Piketon, Ohio. It's a gruesome, tragic story.
Yeah. I was gonna say, there's nothing nice about covering the murdered and the missing, in a sense, besides, especially the murdered. The people. Oh, really? It starts off with someone goes missing, in the cases that you follow or something like that, of course. But they're all to do with murdered and missing. And like I said, you would, with digital data, and with the one thing that it is really nice is the way that the forensics and the DNA has evolved in that side, is that old cases from 40 and 50 years ago where there was DNA are now being resolved, some of them, because of the DNA, that they didn't have the technology back then. And then some of those idiots that know that they committed a crime are going, oh,
yeah,
but it is nice to see that in the advancement, some of these older cases. But as we go forward, you're not even going to be able to breathe anything. And it's going to be like, I don't think so. Gotcha.
Right.
But it's just.
Hey, Lacey. I just wanted to say hi to Lacey. But yeah, exactly. I mean, think about if the Idaho case had happened 10 years ago.
Right.
They would they would not have had the leads that led them to Brian Koberger as quick as they did, without without like phones, and two, DNA.
I know. Brian Koberger, right? Ding, 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 ping, 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 ding, ding, ding. Oh, no, I wasn't there. I didn't do it. Swear to God.
But if that case had happened in the 80s or 70s, it would probably still be unsolved.
I was going to say, and Cat Ritter, that was, well, so basically the judge was just talking about the fact that he was there because him and Tad were in some sort of business thing going on, and like they had known, and he had known what's her face, what's the grandma's name again?
Tiffany.
Tiffany, thank you.
Known her with one F. Sorry, that's weird.
Right. One F. Tiffany with one F. That's weird in itself, to be honest. But anyways,
Tiffany.
Yeah. So bottom line is that the mayor didn't like him doing that interview at all, and basically was forced to resign. So that's the last we know of that. Even though he wasn't even talking about the case, but so small little town politics, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Twombly is such a Twombly. Oh, there's some doozies out there. Okay.
Yeah, my mind reads it as Crumley, which makes me think of the Michigan parents. But yeah.
Right. I know. Okay, so hold on a second. So we did that one. Okay, so now we're going to go on to Riley Strain, you guys. If anyone, again, is following this channel, you know that we've covered the Riley Strain case. But basically, once it was determined that it was accidental, it was like, okay, let it, kind of rest in peace. It's kind of 2 autopsies. But then it kind of becomes strange again, so...
Well, I was, I actually kind of like jokingly, yesterday or the day before in Sunny in my little message thing, I was like, boy, News Nation's really right in this whole Riley thing still, because they were doing a video and And then I actually sat down and I watched like the full interview of the family.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I was like, it's how they feel. It deserves attention.
Right.
So,
Exactly. You know.
I do want to say quickly though, Travis Williamson, I think he's a lawyer, says, has anyone looked at the Burger Chef murders near Indy? Quadruple murder never solved.
Yeah.
You might want to check out a channel called The Murder Sheet. I think they started their channel on that
based
case.
on that.
And there's also a movie coming out later this year, like a Hollywood film, about the Burger Chef murders. So that case is going to get a lot more attention when that movie comes out.
Yeah, Unindicted just said that as well. Yeah, Murder Sheets. That's their little puppy over there. Is that case? And then they popped on over to Delphi, and then so that's why I know of the Burger.
That is a weird case though, and unsolved.
Yeah. Hi, little gambler. Hey, everyone. At first glance, when I saw Cora's mugshot, I thought it was a YouTube true crime streamer. Won't mention name. Use your imagination. I'm awful. It was truly an innocent mislook. Okay, let me start playing this out, you guys. So again, this is Sebastian will be at the end because there's more stuff to talk about with Sebastian. Did you by chance, like Liz said, Liz, you don't have a timestamp, do you, for when, like, I'm on the coffin daffer thing, but you don't have a timestamp when Chris Proudfoot supposedly passed this polygraph, do you? You know, because nothing like looking at a 3-hour live and then trying to find it. Is anybody else? Liz, there she is. Liz, you don't have a timestamp around, do you? Unsolved No More, Ken Mines. Yeah, Ken Mines. I actually haven't watched him in a while. I like him. I like him. Arrogant SOB, but I like him. He's kind of like a truthologist, but with definitely attitude.
Yeah. Now, Sonny, is this the Riley video? Is this the full one?
Yeah, 15.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There was like 15 or 16 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get into this one now. You guys will see in a few minutes. Well, when I say a few, I mean 15. Okay. All right then. Let's see.
Interview with Riley Strain's entire family, his parents and his step-parents, and they've revealed to you all sorts of information about the disappearance and death of Riley that we never knew before, including, and this was something that was so distressing to me, the 911 call suggesting that the operator said, don't worry about it. He's probably just off with some bridesmaids somewhere and he'll turn up. I'm paraphrasing, but it was uncomfortable to hear a cavalier attitude to someone calling for help from the authorities. Tell me a little bit more about what you've been learning about the route that Riley took that night before he ended up on the riverbank.
Yeah, and the rain has stopped, Ashley. Again, the weather has just been crazy in this part of the country. But yeah, Riley Strain, of course, the young college student who went missing in Nashville, was there partying with his frat brothers beginning of March. Tragic story. Before I came here to Kansas and Oklahoma, I was in Missouri meeting with his parents, and they revealed all sorts of new information that we had never heard before. They had been focused on grieving, and before that, finding Riley, and now they're opening up about all of these other details about what they've learned happened that night. They were able to get Riley's bank records now, and we now have a look, and we have a map at exactly which bars he went to. We knew Luke Bryan's bar, but we now know all the bars, and we know the order that he attended those bars. It was Miranda Lambert's bar first, Garth Brooks' bar second, Kid Rock's bar third, and then he ended up at Luke Bryan's bar fourth. And again, they've figured this out by looking at his bank records, and they've revealed something else that they've never talked about before, Ashley. It's shocking. It is a conversation, a text message conversation that Riley had with his mother at one of those bars. They're not sure which one he was at, not Luke Bryan's bar, but one of the ones before. I want you to listen to what they said.
He had sent me a text and said that he had ordered he was drinking a rum and coke and it didn't taste good. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't drink it then. He goes, well, it tastes like barbecue. And I go, well, that sounds awful. And he said, well, it sounds good, but it's not.
When a rum and Coke normally tastes the same, I mean, that's not something that you really normally taste any different.
Right.
It has a very consistent taste.
Yes. Yes. And that's why I'm like, you probably shouldn't drink that then.
Do you think that could have something to do with what happened?
Yeah, maybe there was something in it that shouldn't have been.
I mean, even if there wasn't foul play at the river, but if something happened in the bar, that's the kind of thing that could hurt someone else.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you hear about that happening to women, but it likely happens to men too, I'm sure.
From the stories that we've been told from Uber drivers and just different individuals that reached out to us that either happened to a family member or happened to them in Nashville, there's something there.
There's something going on in that town.
It just feels like it just feels like you come up to a stopping point. Every time we get somewhere, it just feels like there's something holding everybody back from fully giving us what we need. And there's just something there. There is something there. It's just,
be it money or bad publicity.
Right. We don't know, but we truly want to try to help, the situation and help others.
Nobody needs to go through what we've had to go through, the way that we've had to go through it. I mean, they're still telling us it's an accident. Fine. Show me the proof that you have that it's an accident. I'll accept it.
So now Ashley questions of whether Riley was roofied based on that conversation that he had with his mom, and obviously the way that he was acting in some of the surveillance video that didn't make sense. We've learned there's a state investigation now on top of the local investigation, which apparently has ended and isn't continuing. The state now looking at cameras from the bars, according to the family, trying to figure out, what he drank. Did someone slip something in his drinks? All of that now being looked at, Ashley.
Well, I sure hope that the state investigators, if they find that someone slipped something into his drink and he died as a result of it, I hope they charge that person with felony murder, because drugging someone is a felony. And when someone dies as a result of your felony, you get charged with resulting murder. That is so distressing to hear that. Brian, excellent digging. And I know that there's a lot more. By the way, please go get shelter. Thank you for, doing this in such bad weather down there, and all the digging and all the double duty today, Brian. Thank you so much. Excellent job.
Thanks, Ash.
And I've got a whole lot more of Brian's exclusive interview with Riley Strain's parents coming up after the break, because while they were on the ground in Nashville and they were personally searching everywhere they could, what were Riley's frat brothers doing? Riley's mom and dad said they could not believe how these young men behaved, and you may not believe it either. Hear it all next. Riley Strain's mother says there is a hole in her heart, and it is not just the loss of her son. It is the lack of answers from people who should know by now how Riley went from alive and texting outside a Nashville bar to dead in the Cumberland River. Nashville police are still insisting it was a tragic accident and nothing more. But the family is not buying that. As for Riley's brothers at his fraternity at the University of Missouri, you may be shocked when you hear how they reacted to Riley's real family when that family needed support the most. Not only that, we got more now of an interview you'll see now only on News Nation about that drink, about the disappearance, and about what happened afterwards. Here's Riley Strain's mom and dad and step-parents with our Brian Enton.
They've got a mountain of evidence that they're working on filtering through, and he has been in contact several times throughout this whole investigation.
Do you think that could lead to some answers in terms of maybe if there was something in the drink? I would think there's got to be all sorts of cameras.
So. We heard there was 150 cameras in Luke Bryan's bar, I believe it was. We hope that'll lead to something.
So, it's interesting because he wasn't in Luke Bryan so long as we thought. you know, according to what the detectives told us timeline this week, you know, he'd left Garce and went to Kid Rock's and then spent an hour in Kid Rock's, then showed up at Luke Bryant's at 9:15, I believe is what the detective told us. He was in Luke Bryant's from 9:15 to 9:36, 21 minutes. He had 1 beer, 2 waters. You know, last time I checked, every time you go into these bars, you have to show ID, probably have to pay a cover. And so if he didn't meet the protocol to be in there after being in there 21 minutes, I can't imagine a lot changed in that 21 minutes from when he was paying to get in.
Well, I'm just thinking about, you know, you've got celebrity bars involved. You've got Nashville, which is a huge tourist destination. You've got a big fraternity with chapters all over the country. A lot of people who probably just would prefer that you guys stop doing these interviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not going to stop until we get satisfied with some sort of answer somewhere. Because where we're at right now still doesn't make sense.
It's still a mission. You know, the objective is still the same, to find out what really happened, because everything we're seeing, it doesn't add up. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. You know, if it was, we wouldn't be sitting here.
The fraternity brothers had not gone to the police when they called you?
Not that I am aware of.
Were you surprised?
Yes. Because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they have called the police when they got back at 3:15 in the morning and didn't see him then? Why wouldn't they have called the police? I don't know.
So 7 or 8 hours had gone by from the time they got back to the hotel to when they called you. Do you have any idea why they didn't call the police until then?
I don't know.
We called them on the way down, and it was probably close to 12 o'clock, and they were just going to the sheriff's detention center, to the sheriff's office to report him missing. That was probably 12:15, 12:30, somewhere in there.
So 2 more hours had gone by from the initial call.
Yeah.
They still hadn't gone to the police.
Yeah, 14 hours after his last ping of where his phone was.
Do you think they were just scared, or do you have any idea why?
It's $1 million question.
So what happened when you got to Nashville?
So when we got there, all the boys were out. Well, not all the boys, but several of the boys were out front with a police officer. And we had to finish filling out the report. So we completed that, and the boys stayed out for a while. And then they all of a sudden disappeared, all of the boys. And they ended up back out a little while later in their dress clothes to go out to their formal that night.
They went to the formal?
Yeah.
I mean, these are his fraternity brothers?
Fraternity brothers, roommates, friends from high school.
We spent the next 4.5 hours searching every emergency room to see if he was in the hospital. We come back, and they're coming back, some of them from the party, and they're waving at us as we're sitting in the truck. How's that make you feel?
I would have thought they would have all banded together like a search group that night.
You know, 150, 160 of them on the ground, you know, there from all different chapters. And, you know, they told us that they were there. All of them were there if we needed them. We didn't know what we needed at that point in time, but you would have thought that, you know, they would have at least been out searching, trying to do something. It wasn't.
Or something.
So the night after he went missing, you were out searching, and the fraternity brothers were partying. What were you thinking?
We weren't very happy with them, to say the least. It's appalling.
You all received a letter from someone else who was staying at the same hotel, who described a little bit of what they heard that night that Riley went missing. I just want to read part of it. At first, I thought it was a bunch of drunk college kids being jealous of girlfriend-boyfriend stuff, but it was too loud and went on too long. They were in halls. I could hear them between the walls. The doors for the hotel rooms are very heavy, so they slam when you let them shut. I woke up at 3:15 a.m. to numerous doors slamming, kids in the hall, both boys and girls, having very loud discussions, going back and forth from rooms multiple times. It was like new kids kept showing up on the floor during the entire period. These kids were freaking out about something. Were you ever able to find out what was going on in the hotel that night?
From one of the friends that I talked to this week, apparently he had hurt his hand that night. Didn't really specify what he had done, but apparently it had to do with a hurt hand that night and people being emotional about it. Apparently it didn't have anything to do with Riley.
Do you think there's information that his frat brothers have that they're not sharing?
I feel like yes, maybe. I mean, I haven't sat down and talked to any of them to say, tell me your whole entire story. Would I like that? Yeah, yes. It would be nice.
Now that you've found Riley, do you feel like you have a different purpose in terms, I mean, do you want to know everything that happened? Is there like a hole? How would you describe it?
Of course, there's a hole in my heart. There always will be. And we may never know what happened that night, and that makes it even worse for me. But yeah, I would like to know everything that happened that day.
I don't understand why they haven't reached out to us wanting to provide information of that night. Maybe I'm crazy, but why should we have to reach out to them and beg them for information on a missing brother?
Did his brothers come to the funeral?
Mm-hmm.
They did. They were shuttled down on a bus, basically chaperoned through. They were loaded back up on a bus and back to school they went again.
Do you think the fraternity is trying to protect the fraternity? I mean, in terms of like a lawsuit or reputation, or I mean, what do you think is happening behind the scenes?
I think it's a reputation blow.
I do. Yeah. There were a couple of things that happened over this last week. They had a memorial service for him in Columbia, and we were notified 3 hours before. Well, we know it takes 3 hours to get to Columbia. I mean, I thought this was a brotherhood,
Riley Strain's parents with our own Brian Enton. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Fraternity is trying to protect the fraternity. I mean, in terms of like a lawsuit or reputation.
All right, such a heartbreaking story with Riley. It's so hard when you look at these young ones that had such a life to live and still like that to go. But what do you say about the frat brothers, eh? 1 second, Adam, take over for 1 sec. Let me just let my cat out on this one, please. Aspen Connor. You muted?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, just let me let the cat out for 1 sec. Anyways, what do you think about the frat brothers? And I mean, I seen your comment in there, but give me a second. I'll be right back.
I mean, of course, it's been 20 years since I was in college, but I was in a fraternity in college. And so I know that, you take your guidance when you're in a fraternity from your higher class people, but you ultimately take your guidance in any situation from your national chapter. So I would assume that his fraternity probably was given, probably some guidance as far as not talking to the media and if they did, what to say, because it is a business. They don't want to end up with some sort of liability with it. Plus, their business is built on recruitment, and if a certain fraternity gets a bad reputation, less people are going to pledge that fraternity, which is bad for their business. So yeah, I mean, I by no means will, make excuses or say that fraternity chapters are a great, wonderful thing. But I also think that these could have just been drunk, stupid kids that made bad choices.
Selfish choices.
Right.
That's what we'll call it. Selfish.
But I think it's something that I think it not necessarily these exact choices, but at that age, I think we all make dumb choices sometimes. They don't typically lead to someone losing their life. But I mean, I know when I was 20, 21 years old, I did stupid things, and luckily nothing bad ever happened, but it could have.
Were you selfish too? Were you a selfish frat boy? Sometimes?
Well, I mean, I think you're just wrapped up at that age. I think you're just wrapped up in your own little world. Your world is small, and you're the only thing that really matters at that point.
And I would say pretty much, right? Not everyone, not all of everyone, but for the most part, they kind of probably what you said, like they didn't think of the severity of it. Like, like probably it didn't hit them as real, or that, or he's going to be found or something like that.
Plus the whole reason they were on this trip was for that event on Saturday night. And, they made the wrong choice. Absolutely. But I guarantee you that, there was probably a whole question of like, well, what do we do? It's kind of like when Natalie Holloway went missing. Everyone still got on that plane and went home. Because, when she didn't show up that morning when they were supposed to leave after their, at the last day of their trip.
Yeah.
All of her friends and all of those chaperones, they all got on the plane and went home.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm deeming it more like, I bet you if they're listening to the news or anything like that in regards to Riley, I bet you some of them are feeling really bad and guilty, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm sure they're going through hell.
Just because of the fact of, and that, like, it's kind of like, this is old school to me. So what the dad said there, this is old school. Okay. Back in the day, we had a lot more, I'm sorry, you guys, to the young generation. It's a very self-absorbed generation. It just simply is. It's a generations of entitlement. I didn't grow up in that generation. You worked hard, type of thing. You earned your spot in a sense. You couldn't just walk around. Definitely, you didn't have these cell phones and all this technology. And like I said, it's a very self-absorbed world nowadays. It really is. Everything is just, expectations that your computer should be working, that your internet should be up, and like I said, it looks like, to me, it's like a very robotic world watching how the generation is now. But, in all, like I said, fairness, really, for the sake of that, they're at that age where they're more just into themselves. A lot of people, like I said, I'm kind of give a little bit of slack there to the frat boys, because honestly, it doesn't shock me. But to the father here, he's like, why should we have to ask for that information? It should be just like, people should be willing to give us. And you would think that that would be the proper thing to do. But if you have information, I would want to talk to the parents myself. That's me. I would be that person. And I would be that person that would not go to the formal over a person, but that's just me. But yeah, so when he says that, I'll call that the old school mentality, is that you shouldn't have to ask. But nowadays, obviously, like I said, I would be more than willing to sit there if I had anything to say to the parents about whatever. But a lot of people like to duck and cover. They don't like to be involved. They'll watch from a distance, and there's others that don't, and others that do show compassion and care more towards people, and others that don't even give it a second thought, really. It's like, okay, well, Riley's gone. Well, okay, well, what are we doing today, guys? What's up today?
Right.
Because again, it's not impacting their lives in the same way, right? Like I said, some of them I'm sure were really close to Riley, others know of Riley, type of thing, and I'm sure there's a lot of them that just like know of Riley, but they're not probably his best buds in the world either. But they're just
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, he was in his senior year, so I mean, he would have been probably known by most of them because he was,
but not close. Not
oh no, of course you're not going to be close to everyone.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The people that are truly close, you would expect that more of them to, want to help out or stuff like that. But the ones that just know him and it's like, hey, Riley, how's it going, buddy? The ones that say aren't going to feel that same attachment to it. And again, it's just it is a whole different generation nowadays of how people do things. Before, when you moved, a neighbor would say, hey, can I help you? Here's a beer. They would just literally reach out and talk to you and ask you if you wanted help. It was a different time. Times are quite different, but in saying that, we'll have to see what the toxicology says.
Right.
I'll be very curious.
Start that.
It could, and it still could be simply an accident, right? But does it sound strange that someone has their shirt on and then we find out that the boots are gone, the pants are gone, the belt, and that he's wearing a belt, and that somehow that's all removed? It does seem strange. Like, meaning if I was
unless his pants were open to use the restroom.
Right, which I'd said maybe he peed.
Yeah.
Maybe he dropped his card, went down to go get it, fell. Maybe he peed. Who knows?
I have had too much to drink and been outside and attempted to relieve myself and stumbled over. It's happened.
Oh.
Luckily, I wasn't standing at a riverbank.
Yeah.
Anne Vroon said, "Is a roofie a pill somebody drops in a drink?" So
I'm not.
A roofie technically is usually it's GHB, which I can't remember what the actual words are. But yes, it's typically odorless and tasteless, which is why it's so easy for people to slip in people's drinks.
I'll be curious. What the toxicology says to
Same.
that. Yeah. When go ahead.
If depending on the state of his body, who knows? Because some drugs leave your body faster than others. So, I would expect his blood alcohol to be pretty high, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No. You're not. I'm just trying to. We're gonna go on because it's already at the hour mark. We're gonna go on to Sebastian because that one's probably going to be like an hour long itself. So.
Okay. Can you give me a few minutes because I need to return a phone call really quickly. Sorry.
Yeah. No problem at all. So yeah, as for Riley, like I said, well, I'll keep up to a date to it. Like I said, we are following the case. It's just so tragic to me, regardless if accidental or not accidental. When you look at these young, beautiful faces, whether they're missing, whether they have been murdered as well. It's just so hard because all I can think about is the life that they had and the life that's gone. Same with the Delphi girls, right? Abby and Libby. It's just heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking watching the parents talk, and especially the mom in this case. Obviously she said Riley was her best friend type of thing, and they were very close. And you can see it every time she talks about him. She just wants to start bawling, and she's basically keeps holding it together every time she talks. It's just heartbreaking anyway. We're gonna go on to Sebastian now, you guys. Okay, so Sebastian, I want to say this. Okay, Liz, my thing is that I don't have time to try to look through T-Rev on where possibly it was said Christopher Proudfoot passed. But what I'm curious about is if that's true, why isn't any other YouTuber that I have seen, like JLR or Cluminati, why isn't anybody else posting about Chris passing at Poly? Like, that would be like big news if that came out, meaning that would be splattered all across somebody's thumbnail if that was the case. Oh, Charmaine, she's back. That's because she pretended to hear me. Charmaine, like I said, when you had that grandchild, your role was 500 memberships. 500, Charmaine. Not one less, not $4.99. No. Glad you're back. Anyways, I know. When are you coming back home, by the way? Miss you. When are you coming back home? You need to get back to doing some live streams, eh? This case is insane. Absolutely. Which one? Which one, Charmaine? Covering 3. And let's see. Scary stuff. So many of us out there in the world. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, that's just it, Liz, right? I mean, I'll watch T-Rev later with Coffin Daffer on it. But again, we all know how people work. I mean, trust me, if I would have seen that, I would be splashing that right across my thumbnail as well, because everyone's been waiting for, hey, Christopher Proudfoot, are you done with your bullshit? Did he take a personal polygraph test? Did Katie give him the polygraph test? Hey, you know what, Chris, I think let's just do the same that we did for mine. Oh, definitely, you passed. Oh, go back on Nancy. You can go back on Nancy now. Charmaine, when are you coming home? You could have misheard her. Okay, we'll take it as a misheard on this one, Liz, because honestly, trust me, JLR would have been on that shit like crazy. Illuminati, all these people that I still have done lives during this, that would have been splashed all on their thumbnail. So yeah, but anyways, I'll go listen to Jennifer Coffindaffer after. I always like Jennifer Coffindaffer. The only time she really pissed me off once was when she said that like Ron Logan had something to do with basically was the BG or something like that. That's the only time she kind of got me miffed, because I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, I mean, she gets it wrong sometimes, with a few different things, but overall in all, I like Jennifer Coffindaffer. I like it when she talks, she's very level-headed, very grounded, and she gives a lot of insight into, obviously being an FBI agent. But so let's see here. So we have, I got to close off some of these tabs. Okay, so stop screen. So we know that Seth Rogers has a private investigator now. Her name is Heather Cohen. Now, this is from 2 years ago over here. But anyway, and Heather Cohen, or how do we say it? Cohen. She was on Surviving the Survivor, STS Nation, with Joel there. But anyway, so she was on there last night. I was watching that a little bit for a while, but I was I'm doing a project on the Sebastian case. I want to do a visual of everything. But anyways, that's going to take a little bit of time. So anyways, so I watched some of it, but we'll just play this for a second. This is Heather Cohen here.
Anywhere they can fit, basically.
Let's just say,
That's incredible. And the investigation wings that you do in your with your company, HMC Investigations, who comes to you? What are they looking for? What are the common things that people are asking for? Or is there a common thing?
Yeah, as a private investigator, switching gears from the bounty hunter to the PI, I think that a lot of the people that reach out to me tend to be people who are kind of frustrated with, they don't feel like their case is really going anywhere. They don't feel like necessarily, the detectives, the lead detectives, the law enforcement are taking leads seriously, and they just get really desperate, for somebody to listen to them and to and to think, I guess, a little bit outside of the box, and turn over every rock and get those leads that law enforcement may not necessarily take seriously.
well, sometimes when we think of private investigators, you think of kind of divorce or custody or things like that. But you bring up a really interesting point, especially at a time period when our law enforcement are really taxed. And there's been great strain on the investigative wings in various departments. So that's kind of where you fill in that void.
I'm going to leave that at that. We're not so that's the private investigator. Now, in saying that, I am a little bit confused, and maybe somebody can clear this up for me. And Seth Rogers, if you happen to be in chat right now, perhaps you can answer this for me. Because I know when Seth was talking one time, he said he had 3 investigators, 3 private investigators. I remember that. Do you guys remember that? When someone said about getting a private investigator, he's like, I got 3. And so when he was talking in this one clip or this one section we're going to watch of crime, lines, and lies, this was the first time. And I'm like, oh, wait a second, what? Because it's just that when I hear something and I remember hearing something different, it kind of sticks out. Well, but okay, so what we're going to do now, you guys, okay, is we're going to watch crime lines, and let me find it. Hold on. I think it's okay. Let's get rid of that tab. I'm wheedling down my tabs here. Okay. Yeah. Crime, lines, and lies. Okay. Let's watch that. Okay. And I'm going to start it right from here, which is where it starts when Seth joins on the live. Okay. Now, let me tell you this. I'm not going to lie. If there's any, at least to me personally, and I know Seth has done a lot, he's been on this channel once and he's been on other channels. He was in, I want to say this to Seth, because he was in the chat so Heather was on the chat on STS, and Seth was in the chat. Okay. And then basically Joel was saying, hey, and his wife, or, hey, if you do want to come up and da-da-da. And Seth said, I don't have any new information. And I'm like, but that's not the point.
Right.
The point is that your face is out there. And so it's, meaning it's not for Seth, it's not just about having new information. It really isn't. It's kind of like us covering a live. At some point, like you can see happening, some channels are dropping off from covering it that much. Because like anything,
it's keeping your face out there. It's keeping Sebastian story out there.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But I do get it. I do get the exhaustion he must feel.
Well, no, and that's a separate thing in itself. Like if he just wasn't in the mood or didn't feel like it and da.
Right.
But his comment,
and he also has his own, just issues. I know he's gone to the doctor, and so I know he, So
but his remark was, though, I don't have any new information. Now, whether or not it was just because he was tired and didn't want to come on, but I just wanted to let him know that, when you come on a live stream, it's really not that you have to have new information. If you're meaning, I just don't want him to feel like, well, if I don't have any information, why should I go up there, in a sense? Because at the end of the day, it's just about channels and keeping awareness to the case, because channels will drop off, and they're going to start dropping off.
Yeah, and something that I feel like something that happens a lot of times, if you follow the Delphi case, this has happened. I feel like, when family members, they tell a story, they've told it, so they kind of feel like, oh, it's out there. Yeah. But not everyone looks at every channel. So
exactly. Well, I didn't.
And so no one ever minds hearing the same thing.
Or somebody might have a different question for him.
Exactly.
They want to ask. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, and it might pique a different. It might pique something in your memory that elicits a slightly different response, which is what what has happened with Delphi sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's being advised. Well, I mean, Seth is kind of person. I mean, like I said, he'll do Seth. Seth will do Seth. Bottom line is, whatever Seth does, honestly, whatever, to me makes no difference, because the whole point of it is that whether it's Katie or Chris or Seth, the whole point of this is Sebastian, right? About keeping Sebastian's story alive, like I said, it just happens naturally that people will drop off from the case because other new cases come out. If this continues, it's going to get what we deem as, I want to say, cold, but not cold in a sense.
Yeah.
Because if there's no new information in a sense and nothing, then again, people are like, okay, well, what? Oh, there's another story about two moms that got killed, or and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, what he's been doing to keep Sebastian's story out there, has done a lot. I'm a little disappointed though in this. I'm disappointed in this. You see that scan code up here there, you guys? That's for the petition. It just, at the end of the day, all it is a petition to try to get FBI to take on the case. So if you guys, again, this isn't about Chris, Katie, this is about Sebastian, right? And at the end of the day, usually there's a lot of, we'll call it egos. There's a lot of egos, like, no, like, we can handle this, we got this, whatever, like that. The petition is for the FBI to become involved in this. And so what can it hurt? Sign a petition for Sebastian, but I'm actually quite disappointed by the numbers, because considering how many people I see watching channels, and I know that the numbers have dropped off when it comes to Sebastian's case. Before, you would typically see over 1,000, 2,000 in a live. Now you're seeing, a few hundred, 400, 300 type of thing. So I'll say, actually, hold on a second. Do I still have it up, or did I take it down? No, here it is. Let me just quickly show it. Anyways, all I'm going to say is, if you guys can just, like I said, in the true crime community, loving, caring, sharing, helping, right? Do unto others as you would want done to yourself, in a sense, if it was your child. So if you can, you guys are in the corner of Sebastian, and again, to have the FBI come in, because it's kind of like when you guys, like, what day is it today? What day are we on? 52, 53?
Oh gosh, what is
Like that?
Can't think. Yeah, it might be.
So
yeah, it doesn't mean the FBI is going to take it on, but I mean, but it doesn't hurt anything.
The best way to make change is by when the internet swarms and covers a story, and it forces them to have to deal with stuff. That's,
well, I mean, look what we just talked about, Riley Strain, and Riley Strain's case caught on really quickly in the national media, and it got a lot of attention. Sebastian's had been happening longer than that, and actually Sebastian's case, right after Riley was found, it actually increased the attention that Sebastian was getting.
Yeah. But you're wrong about that, though, because I know this. Riley Strain started off slow. It did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, but I meant, what I meant, as far as like but Sebastian's case actually got more attention after Riley Strain.
Absolutely, because they were 20 minutes away from each other. So that in itself helped that case. And sometimes, and I did this once before, where I covered, where we were doing a live, and then I covered, I think it was Riley Strain's case. It was either that or Sebastian's, to bring awareness to the case. Just because, like, that's the whole point, is that so, like, let's say we were covering Delphi, and then I talked about
we mentioned Sebastian's case before we talked about Riley's on this channel.
Exactly. And so it's, anyways, bottom line is, right, the way that change usually happens is when the news and the sleuths, true crime community, get hold of it, and they basically plaster it so bad that basically change happens, and then they go, shit, okay, I guess we got to deal with this. And that's why, hence, they do some press conferences, because, like, with Sebastian's, right, it's kind of like they came out to do a press conference because the public wanted to know, like, give us something, what's going on, type of thing. Anyways, so I'm just gonna, the QR code's up there, you guys. If you guys, for Sebastian, okay, green hearts for Sebastian. Anything to try to help figure out what happened to Sebastian, because this case honestly is like cuckoo clock. Don't understand it, but anyways, I want to go back to this video. What I want to say about this video, so for me personally, seeing Seth Rogers talk in this particular video, and I've never heard of this channel, but it's because of Seth and somebody else that was covering it that now I know of Crime Lines and Lies, but I didn't know about it up until yesterday. And which is, like I said, then brings more awareness. And I'm sitting there going, Seth, like, what channel is this? Oh, yeah, another one? Never even heard of this one. Okay. Well, actually, I didn't hear of a lot of them. I never heard of Illuminati, there's quite a few of them. I never heard of the Duchess and stuff like that. Yeah. And if you guys could give this video a like and a share, that would be great too, for sharing.
That avatar looks familiar to me. Maybe they covered Idaho. I'm not sure, but I feel like I have seen her avatar before, at least.
Who's?
But I'm not the one on screen.
I don't see one on screen.
The
you're talking about in the video.
Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, I was talking about the streamer.
I don't know. Kind of reminds me of the Duchess a little bit. That's why I was like, But anyways, what I want to say about this particular video. So if you want to talk about Seth going for the jugular in a sense, and kind of just like freaking putting everything out to the wind, this would be that video for me. Because at one point I'm sitting there going, ooh, he's even taken on EquiSearch, But anyways, let's listen to it, okay, guys?
Yeah, I've not heard this. I'm interested.
Yeah, no. He's like, you can tell now he's to a point that he's frustrated. And it's just coming out of that mouth. But let's listen, okay? 1 second. Let me just make it bigger, guys.
What's going on today?
Just got out of physical therapy. Now I'm in traffic. There's a lot that doesn't make sense with what's going on. There's a lot that doesn't make sense. People. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I take everybody's opinion with a grain of salt. By the way, if you sent me your number to a Facebook, it is not me. I don't have social media. The only thing I have is YouTube.
Oh, well, crud. Okay.
So if you see a profile out there that says it's me, it's not me.
Well, damn. Okay. Somebody's got my phone number then.
So, well, whoever wants to be me, they don't realize what that tells, because I don't even want to be me right now. There's people that everybody has an opinion, but I don't have social media, so I don't really have to listen to their opinion.
No, you don't. You're doing the work. He's your son.
I just want to find it. That's all I want to do.
At what point did you start getting the suspicion that maybe you're not being told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth from Katie?
Pretty much day one, while I listened to her story, because she changed it multiple times.
Okay.
I mean, for the first 3 days, I was at their house until Chris decided that he wasn't going to. He didn't like my sister setting up a GoFundMe. He didn't like that, and it's like, well, you may not like it, but she asked, and I told her she could. And it wasn't for finding Sebastian or anything like that. It's my sister knew that I wouldn't go back to work because my son's missing. I got to find him. So the fact is that he didn't like it, and I had to deal with it. I'd like to think that neither one of them had anything to do with my son's disappearance, but they could always come, help pass out flyers, help search. I've never told them that they can't. They have just chose not to.
Well, what pisses me off is that, they can't get off their dead asses to go search, but they go sit at the damn Cracker Barrel. And they say it's because, the public's so mean to them. Well, I mean, aren't there people at the Cracker Barrel?
Yeah. It's allegedly somebody's leaking my address and my phone numbers out to people. I still don't have anybody showing up at my house until yesterday. I had somebody actually walking the street taking pictures of where I live. I stood on my front porch smoking a cigarette and just stared at them. I mean, welcome to the Constitution. You have the right to sit there and take pictures of my house from public property.
Yeah, how about it?
Doesn't bother me at all. I don't hide anywhere. You'll find my truck's pretty noticeable.
I sent you a message in private chat with my email and phone number, by the way. Can you see that?
Yeah. See where it says one where I've got a message. Now I got two.
Now you got two. Look at that. You're popular.
More popular than I really ever wanted to be.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Have you been talking, I'm sure, regularly with law enforcement?
They're not going to give me any information. I got tired of giving them, because I was getting leads, and it was like I was giving them leads, but I believe that they're talking to Katie and Chris more than they're talking to me.
It seems to me because they have all the answers they need from you. There's a lot of questions about when you saw the video of Sebastian at the restaurant, what was he wearing?
Yeah, I got in trouble. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody that.
Okay, well then don't say anything. That's okay. Don't want to get you in trouble.
Well, I already got in trouble. Trouble is one of my middle names.
Okay. Do you know if they have searched the RV and their cars?
I have no idea. I know they haven't searched mine. I've literally told them they can search mine,
Now, what is all of this panic talk about polygraphs? You're in law enforcement. Polygraphs, they're not admissible in court. Nope. They can be fooled. I understand you took one recently.
Yeah, they're still grading mine.
Why all the different stories from Chris Proudfoot? You know him better than we do. Why one day has he taken one? The next day, TBI said he didn't need to take one. Then he says he took one and passed. Then he said Nancy Grace lied to him.
Question that would be, just so many stories that you can't believe anything that the gentleman says. Took a polygraph at the beginning was Katie. I took one because Miss Grace asked me to.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he's taking one or not. I don't understand what it's like. I'd rather have still been that private person that I was before. I'd rather have never had to be on a podcast, never had to be asked an interview. I'd rather have been, my son live with me, be going to work, coming home, my son there. All this that's going on is just a lot of stress in my life that nobody really ever needs. But as I was told, better suck it up, Buttercup. So I did. I've never been one for interviews. So I enjoyed my private life, going to work, coming home, spending time with my son. And now I don't know if I'll ever get to spend time with him again.
How are you feeling physically? I know you said you had to go to physical therapy. Is that for your shoulder or just all the above?
Actually, it was for my neck. They said that my shoulder pain was being caused by my neck. So,
Christine Alaska wants to know how we can help.
best way to help is, besides keeping your head up and your eyes open, is passing out flyers. That's where tips and stuff come in because people might be seeing my son.
Let's light the chat up for Sebastian, please. Sebastian's Army. I see the godfather of the case has made it in. That is our friend Trevor. I'm sure you know Trevor, Seth.
Trevor Lee? Yeah, I know Trevor.
Any intuition, inkling, or anything where Sebastian could be?
I have my ideas. I just don't have the resources I need to track it. So, pretty much just winging it.
Are you getting any advice from the people you work for? I think his sound cut out a little bit. Okay, there you are. Think you're going to have to refresh your mic. Are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, now we're back. Do you have any thoughts on Chris Proudfoot's family? Good, bad, or indifferent? His sister has made some kind of really strange statements, and his mom and stepfather, their goofy asses took off to Alaska right after Sebastian went missing.
Yep. I know they did. And that kind of, for the person that for Maddie to be sitting there and making the comments that I heard that she made on Facebook about that's my grandson, and for her to turn around and disappear to Alaska with her husband Terry, that kind of actions speak louder than words. I've always been a person that believe actions speak louder than words.
You got that right.
So,
because you have a child in your family that you can't find. You don't go to Alaska. He's not in Alaska. Just like Katie going down to Mississippi with Chris, and she's like, well, because he could be anywhere. Trevor's in the chat. I put the link up, Trevor, if you want to come up. Trevor said Seth's actions speak volumes. He wants his son found.
Do
you know if you can tell us, you can tell us. If you can't, we're going to understand. If law enforcement's looking into any connections to them running to Mississippi or Chris's goofy family running up to Alaska.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know who's leading the investigation anymore. I don't know who's doing the investigations. I've looked on Sumner County website to see if my son was on there. And he's not even on there under their missing persons. So I don't know a lot of stuff anymore.
Well, hang on. Isn't he on the TBI website?
He is on the TBI website.
Trevor said they haven't even listed him on their open cases. How do you feel about that?
Oh, Sumner County or TBI?
Sumner County.
Well, my opinion on this matter is that the first 48 hours is the most important. And they just marked it as a runaway listening to his mother. They didn't take into effect that even though he's 15 physically, he's not 15 mentally. He has has autistic traits, and he's been diagnosed with autism, and then his chromosomal deletion. All of that, mentally he's not 15. Maybe 10. And it took 3 days to get him as an Amber Alert. Their policies and procedures they're not designed for a child that is on the spectrum. And they should immediately have put him on the Amber Alert. And they should have definitely have investigated differently when it comes to the investigation part. The search and rescue is one thing. They did a lot for that. But they should have turned around and dusted for fingerprints, looked for anything that might have been out of the normal, and they didn't do that. They failed my son.
I agree, because like you said, the first 48 hours is the most important. So why take her word? Why on earth did they not just conduct a proper investigation right off the bat?
Well, good question. Maybe their deputy chief could answer that question. But
what did you see what came out last night on your local news with Nick Barris, where he said he spoke with law enforcement and said it's an investigation, but the DA won't do anything because they have no physical evidence? How can that even be possible?
Well, they have no physical evidence because they didn't do forensics. I mean, we're talking about they didn't tape off anything. They didn't come in. They didn't lumen all the house. They didn't dust his room for fingerprints that wouldn't have belonged there. They didn't do a fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the investigation, they asked questions. Well, asking questions is fine if you're looking for a missing persons, but you don't know if, you know, that press conference was just wow.
I was a little disgusted by the press conference. Well, a lot disgusted. And I'm sure it was kind of quite the punch in the gut to you.
Well, yeah, because they said they don't have anything, and then they want to sit there and tell me that, get mad because I ask questions, and then tell me that they only want legitimate leads when I'm sending them everything, and I'm on legitimate leads. You guys don't have any leads. That's what you're telling me. It's what you're telling everybody else. I heard that telephone call with Chris on it. Oh, I rode around with them. They showed me this, they showed me that. Well, isn't that nice that you're not even a biological parent, and yet they turned around and showed you everything? Huh. Kind of makes me wonder how much somebody got paid.
Same here, because he's the last one that should be riding around with them. It should be you.
Most of the time when you're doing a search and rescue for a child that's autistic, you'll have at least one of the parents, the biological parents, going with law enforcement because they could possibly scare the child and they need to hear a voice that is familiar to them. And yet, Katie didn't leave the house.
Mm-mm.
And they never once took me to go look for him.
It was very upsetting to all of us that instead of calling 911, she called Chris, who was supposedly 3.5 hours away and some change. Minutes count when you're looking for anything, but most importantly, a child. And she doesn't even leave the house. Why was she not knocking on doors? Why didn't she call you? You would have been out there in a heartbeat to find him.
They did call my phone. Chris called my phone and sent me a text message. Both of them knew I was at work. Why didn't they call Davidson County and ask to speak to my captain?
Mm-hmm.
My captain, they would have literally pulled me out of work immediately and I'd have been there instead of me being there, after I got off work. Doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. My son's not a runner anyways, and I tried to tell him that. But they don't want to listen to me. The state of Tennessee is, I have no faith in Sumner County. And the fact that they wanted me to actually come work for them, I ain't putting in an application. I can't work for a department or an office that cannot. They still have my son's electronics. Why? Why do you still have his electronics? Give them back to me. Why is it that I have researched and found more information that I'm pretty sure that they haven't? They haven't looked at it at all. They don't have anything. From my understanding, besides having family that works there,
Has the FBI been any help?
I've spoken with them, but it takes 60 days from the start of the case before you can request the FBI to come in and let the company or the organization that is doing the initial investigation ask for them to step in. And I personally believe that after 30 days, Sumner County not doing what they should have done at all, ever, They should have released it to TBI and asked them to come in and given TBI 30 days to fuck everything up, and then ask the FBI to come in and actually do their job.
I mean, the FBI card unit at the least, because they have ways of knowing if he was abducted or not. That seems to be what Katie is leaning towards.
Yeah, she's leaning towards that now. 30 days later, maybe somebody took him. Well, they've had plenty of time to clean their house, haven't they? Plenty of time to destroy evidence that was there. So she had plenty of time to actually clean up any evidence before, we found out he was missing. Because we don't even know when he went missing.
No. Mm-mm. Do we even know where Chris Proudfoot truly was? Do we even know if Katie was at home?
We don't. We don't really know anything. We know approximately what time that they arrived back to the house. But, that would be looking at the video cameras. Chris and Katie have had plenty of access to those from all their neighbors. It took them 5 weeks to show me proof of life after I had spoken to him on Thursday. $5 weeks.
Do you know if EquiSearch has plans to come back anytime soon?
We'll get a load of this one.
I have no idea. And I'm not really particularly fond of David Radar's comments. He hasn't been out handing flyers out.
I missed it. What did he say? I missed it.
You what, ma'am?
I said I missed it. What did he say? Because he's no Tim Miller. I'll say that for sure.
He had turned around and stated that he thinks it's ridiculous that somebody would threaten somebody who's looking for a 15-year-old kid. But my volunteers to hand out flyers have been followed. I've passed on license plate numbers to both Sumner County and TBI. And the press conference, they were like, oh, nobody's being threatened or, followed or anything like that. And then, yeah, David Radar wants to open his mouth. You were there with TBI agents, buddy. I've got civilians out here handing out flyers. I don't see you coming to hand out flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the fact that they have drones and they can sit there and attempt to find my son. But what happened with this? They searched for 2 days last week. What's that? I mean, you searched for 2 days after what? After over a month of what, not searching? I've gotten information from people that doesn't make sense. Rockland Park, for example. I get some cadaver dogs and then bam, automatically they find a dead body. But TBI was there the day before searching. Well, did you not have any type of dog to go with you? No sniffers, no live dogs, no cadaver dogs. What? You just showed up and walked the. What kind of searching did you do? Doesn't make sense.
And what kind of a half-ass search is 2 days?
Good question.
2 whole days? What, to get donations and everything? That's crazy.
Well, I don't think they did any donations. I mean, it was Sumner County, TBI, and the FBI. They showed up to help search. Did they have a possible lead for where they were searching? I don't know.
Well, according to what came out on your local news last night with Nick Barris, and he spoke with the district attorney in Sumner County, he said when they are told by TBI where to search, they go right out there. Do you see them out quite frequently searching?
I don't know where they're going to search because I don't get that information. So,
I mean, do the Bower Sox and Proudfoots have that kind of pull in that community?
I guess they do. I guess they do.
Well, have you thought about possibly getting an attorney to help you like navigate with law enforcement and get things in the works so that way when Sebastian comes home, he comes straight to you?
Thought about it. More along the lines of private investigators and things like that. I mean, I've already spoken with CPS and I don't want him going back to their residence at all. He doesn't deserve to be treated like that. Nobody does.
You have found a lot of stuff out about his treatment just through listening to podcasts. I can't even imagine how that felt.
Listening to them make fun of the way he dances and the way he looks. I mean, seeing the reflection of the sneers in their facial expressions when they even talk about him. The fact that they can't even say his name.
I know it's a lot to take on, but, and I'm no attorney, so you would have to get this advice from an attorney. If you filed for, full custody of him right now, I don't know how that would go down considering the situation. Then law enforcement would have to deal with you and not them.
I'd have to find an attorney. I haven't actually been looking for one, so I guess I can turn around and look for an attorney. Something else to do too.
Well, you have a lot of love in this chat for sure.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I wish they would just lay the hammer down and say, you have until noon, which it's 11:49 here. I'm Central Time. I'm in Oklahoma. So you have until noon. I'll just throw out a number to produce Sebastian.
Yeah, I've never known people to react kindly to threats. I know I don't.
Well, I mean, if it's law enforcement saying, you're going to go to jail unless you produce your son.
I don't know if they can do that. I mean,
I'm just throwing things out there, but I mean, I think an attorney would help you immensely. Getting custody of Sebastian would help you immensely. And then you can deal with law enforcement more than, them putting you on the side burner. Uh-oh, we lost Seth. Hang on.
One second here, guys. Okay, so let me move that back here for a second. Boom, boom,
He
boom.
hasn't been out handing.
Okay. Okay. So let me just drop the link for that channel, okay? This is Crime Lines and Lies, and that's the link for the channel there. Actually, I just want to quickly stick it also in my description of this video. You got to give kudos and stuff to when you're using other people's comments and be, thankful when they don't copyright strike you. So let's put that in there. Okay. Absolutely. Like I said, Green Hearts. There's 175 people watching, 98 from Twitter, 77 in the It's a Crime and Shame channel. You guys could please give again this video. Pardon?
I said thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. I know the people that don't see it, but we see it. There's 173 people watching at the moment between Twitter and I never usually, I guess, do my Facebook thing properly. Anyways, It's a Crime and Shame. So anyways, don't forget to give this video a like and a share. It just becomes about awareness. And, okay, so it was more towards the half point part of listening to Seth. You see him all freaking, he was just on like a little freaking vengeance there, like talking about freaking Sumner County, talking about Equisearch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's on a mission of getting upset, frustrated, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though. I love Dave Radar from Equisearch and stuff like that. But hey, you know what?
Seth's allowed to say and feel however he does because it's his son missing.
Well, that's just it. My point is this: the thing that I really like about Seth is that he doesn't really hold back. Like he knows he has to hold back on certain things that he like. That he wants to drop that F-bomb probably a ton more times than he's doing. To be honest with you, he's frustrated. He's frustrated with Katie and Chris and just the whole investigation in general. And Travis, yeah, there's something wrong with this whole case. Absolutely. Like, I want the FBI to come in, take over, but again, TBI has to ask them to come help and stuff like that. Then it just depends. Sometimes egos get in the way, and like those little blue tape things and stuff like that, or red tapes, whatever you call it. Anyways, this channel is all in full support of Seth Rogers.
Of course.
Katie and Chris, again, they have made their bed and they can lie in it, to be honest with you. Again, they have they have very few and far in between when their neighbors literally want them to leave the neighborhood. It says a lot, to be honest with you. But for us, Seth is, to me, maybe to Adam too, I'm sure, has shown the epitome of what a father should be doing. He's getting frustrated now because it's kind of like we're just over 50 days, like 52 days, 53 days into this.
Almost 2 months.
Yeah, almost 2 months. The 26th, you guys, will be 2 months. Yeah. And there's, like I said, with this whole story, but the thing, I want Seth to come back on here or at least come into chat because I want to ask him something, and we're going to watch it in a second. Actually, you know what? Adam, let me listen to you first on what you thought about the video, and thank you guys in chat as well. Appreciate it.
I've really kind of expressed my feeling because they kind of are the same as yours. But ultimately, do I think everything that Seth says helps the case? No. Do I think some of the stuff he says, is out of frustration? Absolutely. But he's allowed to because his son's been missing for 52 days. And, I think that, his frustration is real. It's raw. And he deserves to be heard. Katie also deserves to be heard. If she's done nothing wrong and, she's also missing her child, their behaviors have just been very, very starkly different. So I know. I mean, my heart is with Seth 100%. But I feel like, by the end of that interview, I could see the just Seth seems beaten down, and I get it. He doesn't feel well, and his son has been missing for 52 days, and he's been screaming into the wind, trying to get people to pay attention to it.
Absolutely, Travis. He does need some guidance, and that was good advice about finding an attorney. I mean, he does. It's kind of like there's people that are helping him, but I mean, when he was on our show last week, and it's kind of like he said, like when Aspen said to him, like, well, what is your plans for day 43? He was like, well, it's like shooting at a dartboard, really. Don't know what to do, where to go, what to, da-da-da-da. It's, somebody that can definitely use some help. And so anyways, so this is, stop screen for a sec. So this is, let me find the picture quickly.
Thank you, Travis. I caught a little bit of Travis on criminality earlier tonight. And thank you, Travis, because your input's always appreciated. I was like, yeah, they were reading through some one of the documents and going over stuff, but I loved everything Travis was saying. So good to see you, Travis.
Travis, I think you were talking about Caleb Harris in Corpus Christi there. I think that's what he was talking about. Yeah. Anyways, to the left, even though her hair is shorter now, because this is from 2 years ago, her name is Heather Cohen. And, so she's the private investigator that's helping Seth out, that just like the news kind of came out yesterday, I think it was, for that. And I want to know where this crap about Christopher Proudfoot passing a polygraph is coming from. Because any channel that covers this case, besides Gray Hughes, which I can't stand, okay? So I don't really give a shit what that guy has to say. Anyways, but Liz made a comment about T-Rev and Jennifer Coffindaffer with it, but somebody else just said about Gray Hughes saying it. Has anybody else heard? Because I can't see Mr. Frickin' Lying Pants Pinocchio there. Like I would think that I would see it all over people's frickin' thumbnails. Yeah, that's exactly my feelings towards that man. He's such an arrogant, narcissistic personality.
I take everyone by a case-by-case scenario or situation, and there are certain things I appreciate about Gray Hughes.
Yeah, this.
There are things I would not do the same as him, but there are things I appreciate about Gray Hughes when it comes to certain cases.
Yeah, I'd have to dig pretty hard to find that. Sorry, but anyways, I mean,
can I introduce you to Jesus Christ?
Yeah, for the freaks that follow him, enjoy. He's quite abrasive to his chat, but whatever.
We'd like you to donate to it. No.
Yeah, but I don't want to get on a Gray Hughes.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I mean, each to their own channel, regardless. At the end of the day, right?
Shelby says basically blames all crime on liberals.
Great,
well,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Great groups, yeah. Let's ixnay on Gray, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give him the attention that he wants. Basic, but anyways, has anybody else heard that about this Christopher Proudfoot passing a poly? Like, did somebody make that up? Did we see it somewhere? Because I haven't seen one person going live myself. That, like, I mean, I have to look into it, but nothing I've seen. But that doesn't make it true, right? It's not on Facebook. It's not true.
Right.
Christopher and Katie, you know that Facebook that you guys all closed down in a sense of your things. Why don't you guys open them back up, right? Because it's all about Sebastian, is it not?
An anonymous poster wrote it on Facebook. Okay.
I don't even want to hear that. Yeah, like, thanks for saying that. But if it's, unless it's coming out of Nancy Grace's mouth or something.
Give it 2 days.
Yeah.
She's still talking about cat hair in Delphi. I want really quickly. This is completely unrelated, but I had a squirrel moment. Kate, Kat, you said something about the 13-year-old boy and a 5-year-old boy. What city did that happen in? Because I want to look that case up. I had not heard about that, but that sounds interesting or intriguing.
About the cat?
No. Kat had posted something about a different case and asked if anyone had heard it, an update, but I had not heard of the case. So I was just asking where it happened at so that I could look it up later.
Oh.
Alabama? Okay, thank you.
Alabama. Okay, so Alabama. Liz knows. Liz is on it. Okay, so what I do want to quickly show is this, because okay, let's see. B&D, are you in the house? Because you're going to probably want to pay attention, which I'm sure he has. But let's see here. Video file. Okay, so I was watching J for Justice. So I know of J for Justice. I've caught her a few times, but in saying that, I don't overly watch a lot of other podcasters in the first place, second place, third place, and fourth place. I'm usually doing my own stuff, and because I'm working full time again and stuff like that, I just don't have the time. But even before then, guys, I really don't.
They were found safe, by the way.
Who? Oh, okay.
Kat, they were found safe. Amber Alert was canceled. Sorry.
Oh, I see. There was an Amber Alert out for a 13-year-old girl who took a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were found.
Yeah. Anne says, okay, at this point, I don't care if CP passed or not. I'm glad we haven't been treated with with his verbose pontifications. Oh, Anne, you and your words. Oh, good word. The word of the week is pontifications for the last week or so. Honestly, I cannot stand narcissistic, arrogant men. I can smell them freaking, like, I don't even care if they're on the moon. I can smell those people.
That's why you divorced one.
Right? Yeah, but he was that little lamb that was really a sheep in a wolf, or a wolf in the sheep's clothing. And then you realize afterwards, oh, there's all these different personalities and crap out there. But anyways, I have an older sister. I like to refer to her as Satan, or at least Satan's sibling, one of the two. And my older sister reminds me of Amber Turd, from Johnny Depp. She's the epitome of egotistical, arrogant, self-absorbed, cares about, it's almost about the perception of look. You could tell that Christopher Proudfoot cares about how he is perceived. And then he gives that, like, I don't give a shit. No, I'm just up here telling the truth. But he cares, okay? He cares. Why? Because he's a narcissist. They very much care about their appearance and ego. Because you remember when his sister came into our chat and I basically tore her a new strip up her butthole there, because she came in, started accusing this channel of, and we've never actually accused Christopher Proudfoot of anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, nor Katie. Not that we can't talk about that things are weird, but we've never accused anyone for the disappearance of Sebastian, because we've always said that we'll let the LE decide that. But does it make things strange, or looking at the lies that he's telling, like he's hiding something? Dude, you sit there and say that you took a polygraph. You lied. You literally posted that on Facebook from your own Facebook account. And then you sit there, and on Nancy Grace, you had your tail between your legs like the good little bitch he was. And he was just like, oh, God, shit, I got to tell the truth. No, I haven't taken one yet. And then Nancy says, well, if I set one up for you, will you? And he says, name the time and the place. I'll be there, type of thing, with freaking bells on, type of thing. And did he take it? No. Then he made the excuse that not only could he not go back on her show, but, that, not to take a polygraph as well. And then he said he had one scheduled with TBI. And then, of course, that didn't happen. And then so Seth took his, and I don't think we've ever heard the results of Seth, even though he said he fell asleep. And then, of course, people are going to slam him for that, whatever. At least, you know what? Seth went and did it. Christopher Proudfoot didn't do shit. So if this whole thing about Christopher Proudfoot taking one, I don't know. It still remains to be seen to me. But bottom line is like I said, they've shown their true colors in this whole thing. But like I said, the narcissist personalities, they just freaking, like, they're like a freaking bad odor to my nose. when I come across those personalities. And at the end of the day, although I'm judging him on his personality and what they have done or their lack of what they're doing and stuff like that, you know, Seth Rogers is doing what I would expect a parent to do. You know, boots on the ground. He's in pain. He wants answers. This is his only child. And there he is. Okay, hey Seth, I have to ask you something. Thank you, Seth. Seth, he was like in a dream and he's like, Sonny must be talking about me right now. Oh, I better wake up out of that bad dream I was having about.
He was probably like, God, why is that Canadian so loud?
I know he probably had me on low and I was still loud, eh? Okay, Seth, I need to ask you something because I seen this video yesterday. Now, I know that you said that you were shown this whole video, okay? So this is I seen this last night on J for Justice. And I know you said that you were shown, or they had shown that it was a garbage truck, okay? When I watch this video, I don't even see a trash truck. So I want to ask you, do you know for certain, Seth, that it was truly, because let's play this, okay, guys? And thank you for waking up and joining us, Seth. He could hear me. I was like ESPing right to him. Oh, and by the way, on there, we just finished watching your interview from Crime Lines and Lies on there. Again, you know, I think it was the most frustrated, but most vocal I think I've heard. And then, like I said, I appreciate your honesty. When you called out Dave Rader, even though I personally like EquiSearch, they are a good group. But it's kind of like, you know, it's when somebody's being truthful. They're not holding back, right? They're just speaking their truth, no matter what that is. Thanks, Kat. Okay. Thank you very much, Kat, for becoming a member. Okay, so Seth, is this the video you saw? Because this is from, to put this in perspective, okay, guys, let me stop this for a second. Share screen. Just to put this into perspective, let me find you. Okay, this video that you're just about to watch is from this home. This is the home with the camera right here. That is, as far as we know, okay, because Seth said he saw the video and that it was a garbage truck. See, Chris said that it was, Chris never said anything besides the fact he said, it's not what you think it is. It's not flashlights. TBI said there's no evidentiary value and you haven't seen the whole picture. So this is the home of what the video we're just about to watch. This, of course, is the Proudfoot's home right here. Okay, so let's go back to, I want to go to that video because this is the video from Nick Perez that he put out. But I think Josh or somebody put out the video that was like the actual video. But I'm curious about a couple things. First of all, the date on it is timestamped for the 23rd of February, not the 26th. But yet, and I'll show you that picture in a minute. But yet I see that the 26th is highlighted. So it could just be that the date is wrong. Because again, you would think that Nick Perez wouldn't put something out there that, you know, without having checked his facts on it. But you never know. But I did ask Nick Perez, but he never responded back to me yet on that. Okay, so, sorry, I'm gonna need to show the video. Cancel, 1 second. Tell me if Seth says anything in chat here. I can't see video file. So let me bring that back up and we'll watch that. Okay, so think about this. This is that home on the corner. This is the flashlight video. So let me play this, but let me take this off. Okay, so there, you guys, let me take the branding off as well. There we go. And it will just kind of play. See on the right-hand side there, you can see where the 26 is red, or like it looks like it's red there, which means that that's what day it's playing from. Seth, is he saying anything? Let me know, Seth, is this the video that you were shown, the one that you were shown to be like this garbage truck? Snoop Scoop. Yeah, Snoop Scoop. Okay, you see that light right there, guys? Right? Don't fall asleep on me, Seth. Oh, wait. So this wasn't the video you were shown? Because this is the flashlight video. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, hold on a second here. One sec here. Wait, Seth doesn't have it. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's her thing still. Hold on. Let me go back into my video here. Wait, is that the end of that video? Oh, maybe it was. Okay, so yeah, no, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. It's past 12 there, Seth's time. Like you said, he just woke up. I would really, Seth, please come back and do a live with us. Please email me at crimingshame@gmail.com. I'm a good one, Seth. Not to say the others aren't good too, but okay. So, right. Tennessee is Central Time. That's correct. Now that I think about that, that's right. I'm so used to dealing with the Eastern people because I'm Pacific, Vancouver. So, just to clarify, Seth, please. So, this is not the video you were shown. I'm pretty sure you said no, right, Aspen? But Seth, if you could just clarify for sure one more time, because this is the video that we all just assume you were talking about, because this was considered the flashlight video. Nope. Okay. Huh. From a different direction, perhaps. Okay. Because the thing is that you guys can see, right? Like, this is the home. This is the common area where this light is happening. But what bugs me is when somebody puts out a small little piece of this. And obviously, I think the reason why it was cropped, one, is because they didn't want to show the person's home. But obviously, duh, 2 + 2. And so this one is showing like the trucks. And anyone that knows this case already knows which home it is, on Stratford there. But I'm looking at this too, and I'm like, look, hey, there's no trash truck here, okay? This is clearly a light moving. So, Aspen Connor.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, Aspen. Okay. So Seth is saying that this isn't the video he was shown. But but what's bugging me is that, like I said, so Nick Barris is one that put out the small video. When people crop things too, right? Like I said, they probably cropped it because they were just trying to focus on those lights. Plus, obviously, it's kind of showing the home that it could be.
Right. Is it at least the same? Do you think it's from the same source that this video is from? Like, well, like, does the angle, the positioning or angle of it look the same? Is it just a different feed, or is this a completely different video?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So, Seth, can you tell us at all if this is from at least the same angle? Because I remember when Seth was on our live.
Yeah, I would think you would see those vehicles, from anytime there's a camera, anytime if the video is from this angle, you're going to see those vehicles in there at least. Sorry, I can't speak right now all of a sudden.
Well, I was going to say, Seth, when he was on our live Aspen, he had said that he said something about the garbage truck, and he's like, that was actually like on the other side of the road or street or something like that. I remember him saying, I saw a different angle. Okay. Okay. So all I know is, let me put it this way. I'll just play that out and we can kind of come back on here.
I wonder if that house has a Ring doorbell camera as well.
Well, that's okay. Maybe if I take this off, it's easier for people.
In the front of the house.
Yeah. So, the thing is that once I heard Seth say garbage truck, right? And he said that the clock was stuck at, actually, let me hit stop to this now. Well, I'll wait till it plays out this one last time. And then let me just pull up that picture here. Again, Seth, we just want to say this, and this is from all of us watching, including, this channel and people in chat and all the people that are watching from Twitter. There's, I don't know, 187 people watching right now. I know I'm going to speak for myself, but I'm sure that you guys can light it up with green hearts for Sebastian. That I'm so sorry. There's no words. Nothing could ever make you come to peace with what you're feeling right now. This is a child. This is your son. As any parent could possibly imagine, they can't imagine something like this happening to their child. But this case, and like I said, we have the petition thing going up over there, which is here, which, I'm a little disappointed because I thought they would have had higher numbers by now, considering all the thousands of people that follow this case. But to bring in, of course, the FBI. I know you're frustrated, buddy, because you want answers. There's no answers coming. You could hear that in that live you did. I see you've hired Heather Cohen, private investigator. That lady said, you need to hire a lawyer. Unfortunately, our lawyer that's in chat right now, he said he's not admitted to Tennessee. He's out of Texas on there. He's a great man, though. His name is Travis Williamson. Great man. Anyways, let me find that picture because I just took it the other day. And I am working on a project for Sebastian as well, but that's going to take me a few days. Okay, where is it? Oh, did I take it on my iPad? Aspen, take over chat for a sec, if you could. Aspen, Connor, wake your ass up.
Oh, I'm right here. I was working on something. Who's Skaggs?
Skaggs is Bert Skaggs.
Oh.
Some guy named Bert Skaggs.
That's who Jennifer Coffindopper said said that his source told him about Chris passing the polygraph.
Chris passing it. Well, I'll believe that when I
right. So I listened to the whole, because someone had put the timestamp in from T-Rev's chat. So I was listening to it, and really all Jennifer Coffindopper says is that that Chris Skaggs said his source confirmed that Chris passed the polygraph, but she was very clear that she doesn't know this. She only heard it through that. Sorry.
Yeah. Seth, I said something quickly earlier in chat because when I was watching STS Nation.
Maybe Seth knows.
What? Hey, what? What does he know?
I mean, Seth, have you heard the rumor that Chris passed the polygraph?
Yeah. Who is Skaggs? I'll get back to that in a minute. He's on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see here. Let's see this. Okay, let's just go to that for 1 second.
He has heard it. Okay.
Okay, he has heard it.
Doesn't mean it's true, but you've heard it.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't pretty much nothing that comes out of his mouth is true. Let's see here. Let me just see if I can see this for a second. Okay. This is, what does this one say? That's the 16th. Okay. This is is stalking in MS. Whoever this T-Rev sent up Some person should be ashamed to be so unsuccessful, to be a loser. Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay. Didn't read that one till now, did I? Anyways, okay then. I see that Seth has hired a private investigator named Heather Cohen to assist in finding Sebastian Rogers. I think this is a smart move. Heather has experience with media and advising clients on staying quiet and not burning bridges with law enforcement. I'm sure her first role is to, hold on, there's more. Oh, Aspen Connor, if I make this bigger, can you read that? No, you probably can't.
Not. Sorry,
It's okay.
not anywhere near that level.
Yeah, no problem. As many of you know, I have worked with cases with Chloe before and have found several missing persons together. I have not talked to her about this case and do not know her personally over the phone text, but my guess is that she did not want the role of being Seth's wrangler. Chloe is focused on finding the missing person and not managing a circus. And she is good at as it gets in finding missing people. I have not talked to Heather, but I am certain she will order Seth to stop talking, and I hope he listens so the focus can be on Sebastian. Right now, what both sides need are very talented missing persons, private investigators to take control. Seth now has two, and I hope for Sebastian's case, he listens to them because significant damage has been done to the relationship and trust with law enforcement, and the relationship is an unbelievable important dynamic in these cases. If anyone frames this as Heather being hired to replace the current investigator, I think they are dead wrong. I don't think Chloe wanted to be involved in the media management. I think she is solely interested in finding Sebastian. Seth, you have two very talented private investigators on your team now. Put the matches down. Stop trying to burn the house down. Do what is suggested of you, and they will lead you to finding the sun, in my opinion. Well, everyone has an opinion, that's for sure. I'll say this. My thing is, I will always follow my heart, and I will say that is FS Investigates. On Twitter, Seth, and I know you're not a media person, but that's SF Investigates. He follows a lot of cases. He has 17.9K following on there. And then there's a Burton Staggs. There's no room for Team Katie, Team Chris, or Team Seth. Summer, you are obsessed with the case and becoming tribal. You should be ashamed there is only one team, Team Sebastian Rogers. Absolutely, Team Sebastian Rogers. Anyway, so those two are kind of very vocal on the, Sebastian Rogers case. Anyways, just like everything, you take it with a grain of salt. But let me put it this way. You're tired. You're exhausted. You're trying to find your son. Just do you, whatever it is, Seth. Always stay true to who you are and just follow your heart. Seth, you know that. I can tell your personality. Anyways, but I'm glad that you're finding the assistant. Well, he can fuck off. Oh, right. Well, I mean, to be honest, Seth, if there's anything to do with anyone's, and I think you're aware of that, I mean, I can easily Google your name and see your address, phone number, everything. Well, apparently it's not your phone number, but anyways, in the true crime community, there's people have no bounds for some of the things that they do. There's people that cross the line, and there's people that do not cross the line and are healthy in following cases. I guess even the unhealthy ones cause a stir because it creates drama or creates like clickbait titles and stuff like that, which create views. Okay, so it's kind of like a catch 22 on that one. But yeah, he can fuck off if he wants. Yeah, that's that. But anyways, all I'm saying is this: no matter what anybody says, I don't give a shit what people say to me. I'll just always do me, be true to myself. So I will say that that just stay true to what you're doing. If they do happen to tell you, like your PI say, maybe tone it down, whatever. If again, look at it and either go yay or nay. But saying that you do need guidance from people. You're exhausted, I'm sure, beyond belief. You're probably running on your fumes, to be honest with you. All I can say is just do you. Just do you, boo. Because that's all you can really do. And I had a feeling that he would say that too on there. Because when somebody doesn't walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, right? It's easy for other people to say things, but walk a mile in that person's shoes first and let it be your child, that's missing, and see how you go about things. And like I said, I'm not that type of person to sit down, and keep my mouth shut. If my child's missing, I need to be speaking everywhere, saying whatever. If I don't feel like Sumner County's doing shit, or TBI is doing shit, would I voice that myself? Absolutely. Because you get to a point where it gets frustrating. You hear nothing. We're past 50 days. Like I said, we're almost at the 2-month mark coming up next week. What is the 26th, actually, to be honest with you? 26 falls on Friday. So next Friday will be 2 months since the disappearance of Sebastian. Did you get answers from the close, right? The thing is, sadly, is kind of like a lot of parents, right? They're kept out in the dark, and then hopefully I don't know, Seth. I don't know. This is a long time. I'm truly hoping and praying that he's alive, and that, because the good news is that there's no signs of foul play that we know of, right? There's no footage to show it. There's nothing to show that.
Doesn't seem like there's much of anything at all. That's
right. But at least it's not like there's blood splots that we know of. But then again, according to Seth, they didn't check the house properly. But anyways.
But even if even if it was public, not like even if like we knew that there was a scent that was went from the Proudfoot house 2 blocks in one direction down the road.
Yeah.
At least that would be a starting point. And and Seth doesn't even have that. So that's what I don't know.
I know. But you know what? That's probably the most heartbreaking. You guys, anyone that watches this channel knows how I feel about the missing and the murdered. It's one thing when somebody is murdered that's horrific enough. And sorry, I'm trying to look for a picture at the same time. That's horrific enough. But when somebody literally has no clue at all what happened to their child, or their family member that's missing, that has got to be the most heart-staking, painful feeling that anyone can feel. Sorry, I am trying to look for that picture of that video. Sorry, just trying to find the date on it. So my heart goes out to anyone, and in this case, it's happening to Seth, and other family members that really care about Sebastian. I really have a hard time saying Katie and Chris, to be honest with you. They're not showing me actions where I feel like I want to say their name. Do you know? I almost feel like I would be lying if I said, "Oh, Katie and Chris, like I'm so sorry about your loss." I'm not. I'm sorry that Seth is going through this, because he's putting the actual foot forward, foot forward of showing what a parent should be doing when they're looking for their child. It's that simple. He could sue for a full and sole custody and could take depositions as part of that process. Now, Travis, you said that you sent Seth, so you have his email then? Like you said, you sent him some ideas? Did you send Seth an email? No. Let me put it this way. Like I said, I always put myself in somebody else's shoes. And I think it's pretty much clear, Seth, that Katie and Christopher have closed down their Facebooks in a sense. They've taken Sebastian's picture off the vehicle. They're not doing what one would expect. And it seems like it's more about their image, and that their image has been hurt. The damage is done. There's no repairing that, to be honest with you. Once you get into the public and and then Christopher starts showing all these lies and inconsistencies, and which they are. Like, why would Christopher say, well, if he would have went out the window, we would have heard him? So I would really like to know, like, I mean, we won't know unless somebody literally tells Seth, like, hey, yeah, like, you know, the only thing that could help Seth gain some knowledge is if he talked to some of those neighbors that I'm probably sure are in his court, considering most people don't even want Katie and Chris to be living there, and they were glad when they kind of took off in the, you know, whole fifth wheel thing. But if he could get or talk to those neighbors that have some videotape, because people talk, right? If they're talking to true crime YouTubers, I'm sure they'd be more than willing to talk to the father. But anyways, to at least know, was that fifth wheel gone? That from the 1st to the 26th, was it actually gone? You know, so I'd really like to know if that is true, that he was absolutely in Memphis that whole time. But why does he say things? And Seth, you said the same thing I said. Why did Katie need to look over in Chronicles of Olivia? Why did Katie need to look over to Chris when she said, and then we went and picked up our niece? Like, again, I said the same thing for confirmation. Why? And then Christopher's kind of nodding his head as if he was there. Well, I don't know Seth's email. Honestly, like, I mean, if I really truly wanted to find it out, I'm sure I could get it. I just haven't wanted. Like, Seth, honestly, if you email me at crimingshame@gmail.com, I can send that over, your email over to Travis. And Travis is a lawyer out of Texas, and he's a very wise man. He's only 99, okay? But he's still got at least a year to live. Just kidding. Just kidding, Travis. Anyways, Travis, like I said, he's a very smart man, wise man, and that's somebody that if you wanted to perhaps ask some questions, perhaps, you know, I'm not sure if you already have somebody. Yeah, I know you said that on there. I know. I'm embarrassed when I'm literally for no, I don't want to say I'm embarrassed. I really think it sucks what they're projecting, because that's not how any of us, most of us that are watching this case, Seth, would handle it. If you're the mother, you would be screaming from the rooftops, you would think. But it's almost like Katie's a puppet of Christopher's. But anyways, you know what? I don't even want to talk about them, to be honest with you. They've made their bed. They can lie in whatever, you know, force comes their way, or karma, or whatever you want to come to it. It happened in the home while Katie was there. Yeah. Virginia. What's Virginia? West Virginia. No, no, no. Who says that crazy crap? Aspen.
Yes.
Seth, why is Seth saying Virginia?
I don't know what Virginia meant.
You're not, are you paying
Same
attention?
place, not the same person. Or same name, not the same name. Wait. Rumor. Same name, not the same person. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, hey, Seth, do you just want to clear up again? A lot of people want to keep having this argument, and you said it on our live. Do you want to say exactly what your position is in Davidson County? I don't know why this people need to keep talking about this. You have people saying that you're a corrections officer, that you're a deputy sheriff with Davidson County. Do you just want to clear that up while you're here, just for people? To be honest, it's one of those things that it makes no difference to me personally at all. I don't care if you're a shit digger or what you do, but it seems to be a topic that seems not to be cleared up, and I don't know why. But anyways, where Katie's parents are. Well, she lets Christopher talk for her. Thank you. See? Okay, deputy sheriff. You guys got that? Deputy sheriff. He said it. It's right there. He said it on our live. It says it's on his LinkedIn page as well. But again, Seth, don't make me get on my knees and beg and anything like that. But send me an email to crimingshame@gmail.com. Okay, I ain't that I'll send it to Travis. I'll send you his way, right? And then because Travis, like I said, you know what? anyone that can help you, especially from different perspectives, something that you aren't even familiar with, perhaps like a PI, lawyer, regardless. Like Travis has talked a ton about the Delphi case, which is in Indiana. All right. You don't have to, but if you want to, then feel free. You still think her parents would come in with their grandson? Oh, I was looking for. Okay, all I wanted to show was really that video. Had a date of the 23rd, but I wanted to show you it, and for the life of me, I can't seem to find that. Oh, wait, am I stupid? Sometimes I am. All right, I did. The picture was looking like almost like a birth thing going on. Okay, so stop scream. He's a father. Seth Rogers, thank you for your service. Yeah, yeah. I would think local LE be all over this for a brother officer. Well, okay, Seth, if you don't mind. Oh, okay. Seth, how can people get a Sebastian shirt? It is a dog eat dog world. You are just a number out there. Always remember that. The only people that truly care about you is your parents, possibly some siblings, maybe your wife if you have one. I know you don't. I'm just talking about in general. Other than that, you were just a number to people in this world. But thankfully, that there's really a lot of good people out there that show their true colors. And, again, by sharing this, by bringing awareness, you see that code up in the right-hand corner, you guys? Don't forget, that's for the petition for FBI to get involved. Let me see. This right here. That's all I wanted to show. So this is that video. Okay, guys. See how it says the 23rd of the so that's February 23rd. And remember Steph saying that video just kept saying 311. So this has to be, in a sense, from that same home for it to say 311, but perhaps there was another camera which had a different angle. Maybe that's what's going on. Is that possible? Bonafide link for shirts. Aspen? Where did he go? Oh, he dropped. He dropped out. So, all right. Come on, Seth. Come on up here. No, just kidding. Bonafide link for shirts. Here. Seth, do you have that link? Because I'm not sure. I've heard people ask for shirts before. Anything is possible. Okay, wait, Seth. If I mod you up for a second, can you drop that link for the shirts? I'll give you a wrench. If I do that, can you drop that link? Hold on. My chat's moving too fast. Where are you? Where are you, dude? Okay. Add as a moderator. Okay, hold on. So I gave you a wrench quickly, and don't worry, I can take it off. But do you have the link? Because only a mod can drop that link. See, look at that. See, look at Seth. Got a little wrench. Okay, but I'm only going to let you play with that tool for so long, okay? Probably let me find the links currently on my phone. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that because only, like I said, a mod can drop links in here, but I want you to drop that link for people, for the shirts, for any links that you have that you want to share. And then I can put those links into the live as well, into the description of the video. Okay. Anyways, so I just want to show you guys that. Now, if you guys look over here on this picture, just to show you. Okay. So I'm thinking that Seth had to have seen the same video, maybe from a different angle. I don't know, because I remember Seth talking about the 311, how it was just stuck on 311. But see how it's red right there? So, I mean, as a general manager of a hotel before, we had cameras with that, and plus when we were resident managers of a high rise in Calgary, we used to have the cameras all the time, and they look like that. Some of them go usually typically a week, and then they go over. Just kind of depends. So I see that that's red. So it could simply be that the date was off. I just hate it why is it things can't be simple? It happened on the 26th. Why can't the date say the 26th? But we all know that people have their times off and stuff like that. Okay, so just said that. Glad you were safe. Wonder what happened to Adam. He probably fell asleep on his phone, hit the log out button. Seth has been empowered. We are going to get into trouble. Yeah, I got my shit that came pretty fast. You got your shirt or your shit, Elizabeth? Is that the bonfire link? Yeah, he said something like that. Bonfire link. I only heard about it once. It's nice. Well, it's better than the previous word that you said. Okay. So, I don't know. What do you? Anything that you guys want to say? Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted you guys to see? Well, I can show this for a minute, I suppose. What time is it? 9:49. Our husband's going to be saying bedtime soon. Okay. So this is Heather Cohan.
Mind bender about this whole case is the fact that something that we learned today from the sheriff, which I don't know how much of this has been out publicly, but he talked to us. I sat down with Sheriff Weatherford today at the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, and he said that they've got footage from ring cams of Sebastian coming out, dropping the trash in the trash bin, going back in. They've got his lights coming on in his room. They've got footage of him going in. There's no footage of him ever coming out. I mean, that's the big mind bender here, is that there's not even any proof that he ever left the house. They have nothing. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, that's amazing right there, because you just don't.
Okay. 1 second here. Okay, perfect, Seth. I will grab that link. Let me go into... Oh, by the way, you don't have to deal with slow mode, though, Seth, when you have a little wrench to play with there. Okay, hold on. Sorry, just waiting for the... 1 second here. I'll play this for a sec while I do that.
Don't even know where to begin, which is, I'm going to come back to you on that. Jody Arrington, I seem to remember law enforcement not wanting to comment about the lights. There was this talk about 2 flashlights on the front lawn. Tracy, I don't know if you recall this, but I think they went back and said, hey, those were really just floodlights from the opposite side of the house. Do you have any information on this, Tracy?
I do, and I got it from this great PI that's working the case. And yes, they were floodlights. They have determined that they were floodlights, not flashlights.
And that could change the perspective of the case in some ways, because I think at the point where they thought they were flashlights, they assumed that maybe it was someone possibly even leading Sebastian out, but that is proving not to be the case. This petition is what Amelia is talking about here. I signed that flyer for the FBI to take over on this case that's out that Seth had made for Sebastian. Did you guys see that? It's huge. Rob, would the FBI ever take over a case because the public is petitioning for it? I'm curious what your thought is.
No, it's one of those where the FBI will get more involved on the request of the police. If someone could prove some for some crazy reason that it wasn't something was going on odd, maybe, but we're not going to take over the case. So those are a bit extreme. We may provide more resources based on what they're asking. If they have a lead, we may send down one of our aircraft that can even look at, we have aircraft that have sensors that can find shallow graves and some other technology that if something comes up that they'll request it and come down. But we're not going to take the case over. We're going to just work with them.
Rob, let me ask you a question you can't answer. Why is there no shortage of violent crime in this country? Why is it just never, ever end?
Actually, I've been around the world and there's no short of violent crime anywhere. I was just talking to somebody today about this, and I just never am not surprised at the ability of other humans to harm humans. And it's worse in some places, and though this country's not short of it. And it's unbelievable when you start looking at it.
Yeah, it's I mean, it does happen elsewhere. It just seems, I mean, obviously we're here in the States, but it's got to stop. I guess it's been going on since the beginning of time. My thing is, why don't people understand like this case out of Oklahoma? I mean, these people are going to sit in prison more than likely for the rest of their lives. Why don't people think about those repercussions, Rob?
So many of them think they can get away with it, and like the more TV shows they watch, thinking they watched enough CSI to get rid of bodies or whatever. It's just amazing how stupid. It's amazing how stupid criminals are. I mean, I've seen bank robbers write the demand note on their own deposit slip, and surprised that the police show up, 20 minutes after they get home. And it just gets into a point where people start, especially in groups. I mean, groupthink on things like this. You look at the people in Oklahoma, because I made some comments on that. Again, what were they thinking that it wasn't going to come back to if there's a child dispute, that it's going to come back to them? And do they really think they have the capability to hide a crime scene? You think watching CSI makes you smart enough to do it, but the technology that's coming out that the police can use, that we can bring in, is just unbelievable. But then the best part, though, is when you get an investigator who has some scientific evidence against someone who's lying, especially if you're trying to get 4 people to say the same thing. You're going to find the shortcoming in the story. You're going to find the weak one, and then you're going to go after them to tell on others.
You guys, 1 second here. Okay, so that obviously is STS Nation with Joel, and he always has on a bunch of great guests. Great channel, great person. Like I said, always has on great guests. You guys, Seth, his Cash App, TMB Fleming. I'm going to take this down now. I am getting that little thing from my husband saying, baby, bedtime soon? I'm like, yeah, give me 15. Right. That, Seth, that same thing happened in the case of, 1 second here. Let me go to this right here. Put this up first. Okay, perfect. Okay. That same thing happened in Delphi, right? I remember like this one guy who didn't know he was being recorded was like the sheriff of one of the other towns around it. And anyways, he was talking about that, about like in the Delphi case, and you probably have never heard of it. It's a big story in the true crime that's been going on for 7+ years. It's finally getting to the point, it took only 6 years, 5.5 years for someone to get arrested. But anyways, it becomes all about egos and stuff like that. And that's what happened in Delphi. Now, I can't speak, of course, what's happening here. I would like to hopefully see that, the FBI, comes in and they get another, like I said, this is a child. Anyways, I really do hope you get your wish. I do hope you reach out to me so I can give Travis your email, who is a lawyer. I'm glad you have people that are, you need people to help you. I remember when you were on here, you talked about it's like a dartboard, right? You never know which area you're going to search and this and that. But I'm glad that there's people that are backing you up, helping you with the GoFundMe, your Cash App. Oh, let's put that back up there. They would ask, right? But that's what it becomes about a lot of times, is the ego thing. And that happened in Delphi, and I'm sure it's happened in a lot of cases, right? The egos get in the way. And yet, whatever, it's just so wrong. But anyways, I really do hope that you get your wish for that. Yeah, this case, I know it's so mind-boggling what happened to Sebastian. I truly pray, I think we all pray, you guys, that that Sebastian is just, that he's hidden somewhere, for whatever reason. But there has to be more information. We know that there's more information that they know, and I'm sure that you being a deputy sheriff, being in the system, I think, what did you say about Sumner? Like they wanted you to apply there, and you're like, kiss my butt type of thing on there. But anyways, it would just be nice if some sort of break in the case what happened. I'm kerfuffled myself because the information we only have to go on is that nothing really. Like, it's like you can look left, right, middle, whatever, and it's like, what happened to this kid? He's somewhere. Yes, he's a deputy sheriff. So just in case you came in later, Jane, as like I said, Seth's in here. A lot of people keep saying that he's a correctional officer and this and that, hiding her hair. He had already said what he was on the channel like last week. But anyways, there he is. Hey, buddy, what happened?
Hey, sorry, my internet completely just crashed.
Oh, I get it.
So
Remember when mine white screened the other day?
Yeah, well, I'm not at my house, so I'm like, I had to go find the router and like reset it, and I'm like, and there was all these wires and everything. I'm like, I don't know how any of this works, but anyway, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Welcome back. Just came in. Okay. Yes, I'm a deputy sheriff. I work. There you go. I'm a deputy sheriff. I work in the corrections department. Okay. So it's just that people are saying, no, he's not a deputy sheriff. No, he's a correctional officer. No, this. So there you go, right there. I'm a deputy sheriff. It's really neither here nor there to me. Like I said, for me, I personally, I could care less what you were. If you were working at McDonald's, it wouldn't matter.
Because all that really matters is, like you said, he's a dad. So that's really all that matters.
But I am just a dad, actually. And that's just it, Seth. Myself and foremost. Okay, so I never expected to be in true crime whatsoever. I do not like the fact of people getting hurt, that people are getting killed and murdered or missing and stuff like that. I never expected to be in this space ever, okay, because my heart is too much as a mother. As a mother, first and always foremost. This is where I speak, and I just speak off the top of my heart and my tongue for the most part, because it's like, that's where people can connect, right? Take away everything else. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit if you're the president, prime minister. I don't give a shit at all. At the end of the day, we're all humans. We all hopefully have, good beating hearts. And a lot of people have very caring hearts. So I always think that people that are in true crime have very big giving hearts. And hence why stories like yours, you have to keep it out, because I can see that it's, that some channels are tapering off from it, because, right, on to the next story, on to the next story, on to the next story. I don't mind talking about other stories, but usually I have more of that addictive personality where it's like Delphi. But then after a while, you're like, okay, like this isn't going anywhere.
Right.
There's other people we can try to help in a sense and bring awareness to. This case for us has stolen our hearts. We've been at it since right at the very beginning of it. Maybe, it's not like I said, the bigger channels kind of take over us, smaller channels, but I'm glad for that sake, because I don't care, right? It's just about bringing awareness. So that's why I like to alert some of the bigger channels that don't know of the case, because if they pick it up, then it helps it. So the only way change can typically happen is when the news takes hold of it, the true crime community takes hold of it, and it creates them, forces them to be accountable, because they're like, ah, shit, I guess I got to deal with this. And there's so many cases that just fly underneath the radar that don't get the attention from it. But the only way people can really create that, is by being a voice and keeping the voice out there. you made a comment yesterday, and maybe you were just tired, I'm not really sure, but you made a comment in the STS chat that said, well, they asked you if you wanted to come up, and your comment back was, well, I don't have any new information. And so I don't know, in a sense, if you just answered that because you were tired, exhausted, didn't want to go on the live, or if you just simply meant you didn't have no information. Bottom line is that you don't have to have new information, South ever. You know, if ever channels drop off and you want to come up on this channel again, feel free, because you don't have to have new information. The whole point is, it's just even talking about Sebastian, keeping the awareness out there, that seeing your face, which you put it out there a ton, you know, so good on you, to be honest with you, because you're all over the map. I only came across the Crime Lines channel because I seen that Jay for Justice had it on her channel, and I was like, oh, let me go look here. And so that brought me awareness that, oh, Seth was on this channel. And I'll have to say, like I said, it was probably towards the second half of it. You ended up dropping off. But why is it on our live, Seth? You were like popcorn. You were like bouncing in and out with your Wi-Fi. Seth said he lives between like a army, was it a airport and an army base, was it? Anyways,
I think so.
But yeah, but anyway, so all of a sudden, like, I've never heard of Crime Lines, but you know, all of a sudden I see like Seth's on there, like he's in the chat, because he's pretty much everywhere, right? When he's not looking out for Sebastian, he's pretty much in everybody's lives, you know, bouncing around as he sees the people's names with Sebastian, right? Doing what I would think a parent would do. You just want answers. And if you're sitting still doing nothing, you know, I'm sure your sleep pattern is beyond ridiculous. I'm sure, I don't like, you know, I just feel bad, right? Anyone that's in this situation, there's no words that could take away this feeling. And this has to be the worst feeling in the world. Having someone that's missing, you don't know what's happened to them, if they're alive, if they're dead, or if they're like, if you're ever going to see them again, and then not to know, not to have any inkling about where Sebastian is. That is the worst pain that can be bestowed upon a parent ever. And that's what's bugging me about, we'll call them K and C, is that I'm not seeing that same sort of drive or passion for trying to find her son. I could care less about Christopher Proudfoot. You know, he can go, you know, fuck off a tree for all I care. I honestly, because he's not the dad.
Yeah.
He's not.
I did just think of a question really quickly, if Chris is still in there. I know that, you know, he has talked about that Sebastian would use his login when he would game online sometimes. And I'm just curious if law enforcement, I know you've not gotten a lot of information from them, but is there anything at all involving your social media or your gaming username or anything involving your gaming stuff that Sebastian had access to, that law enforcement has even like followed up with you on or asked you any more questions about? Because I'm just curious, you know, if they're even remotely going down that avenue, or if they've completely ruled that out when it comes to the online gaming stuff.
Okay. And no, and Seth, just to answer you too, no, you haven't been on J for Justice, but she was playing the same video that I played tonight from Crime Lines and Lies. So she was just playing a clipping on her channel from Crime Lines and Lies. That's how I knew that you were actually on Crime Lines and Lies, and that's when I was watching the video yesterday. Yeah, Fort Campbell and Outlaw Fielder. Outlaw. Ooh. Okay. My thoughts are that they haven't spoken. My thoughts are that they haven't spoken with me. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Sonny.
No, my only thing for Seth is, let me just whisper this to Seth. Seth, is there any chance of you making amends in a sense with Katie and Chris? If it involves you perhaps getting some more information? Can you ask just for a bit if it means getting information? You know, at the end of the day, it would be nice to see them all working together. That's the way it should be, and we all know the GoFundMe thing and stuff like that. And he said about grandma, meaning Robin Rogers and
Right,
whatever.
but if you suspect someone might have had something to do with your son going missing,
well, they're close to your enemy, though, right?
I get it. Really quickly, thank you, Seth, for answering my question. Seth says they took my PS4 and Sebastian's PS3. They had my phone for 12 hours. I gave them my gamer tags as well. So when they had your phone, so they've downloaded everything from all of your devices. That's good to know. Have they asked you any like one follow-up question on anything after that about any of that stuff that they took? Because I'm just curious if they've actually are still going down that avenue or if they've ruled it out completely.
Oh. Am I taking this comment to be somewhat rude, or is it just me?
No, you already complained about them taking it too. Well then, the Nintendo Switch.
Says, what about the Nintendo Switch? Says Seth Rogers already complained about them taking it too.
Seth didn't mention that they took. Seth didn't mention anything about the Switch. The Switch might not have had online activity. I don't know.
Well, it's just the comment that says you already complained about them taking it too. Let me put it this way, Wood Fairy. There's no bashing of Seth Rogers in this channel. Let me make that loud and clear. Okay. So if you're going to phrase the question, then phrase it in a respectful way. I'm just going to say, because that does come off to me. I'm pretty sure that my sonar is pretty much, but if it does come off as rude, that says you already complained about them taking that too, that doesn't come off like a positive comment to me on there. You can have your opinion, but you have to be respectful. So if that's in any way a slight towards Seth, okay, I'm just asking a question. That's not a question, okay? You already complained about taking that too. Okay, don't try to pull that shit on me, okay? Because I will not. I'm not stupid. And I didn't get this turnip truck. All I'm saying is, right, there's no bashing of Seth here. So that comment right there tells me that you're making a comment that says you already complained about taking it too. That's not a positive comment. I don't take that. So unless I'm somehow reading that wrong in the wrong tone, which I don't think I am, I'm just going to say that to you nice and clear. All right?
Thank you, Seth.
So I'm just making myself clear. In this channel, it's about being respectful, and you can ask the question. Like, Seth, didn't you already say something about the Switch? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to block your butt just because I can't.
So Seth said 2 weeks later, they asked for my emails again, but they still have the Switch and haven't given it back yet either because it's still an active investigation. Okay, thank you. That's good to know. 2 weeks later, they asked about my emails again.
Block Jenny.
So that's interesting because because at least that means they at least have, even if there's nothing to it, at least that means I would assume they are investigating that avenue of it.
Oh, hold on. I don't like what they are doing to you, sir. What is your response to you being caught on a stream at Seth Rogers with acting as if you were in extreme pain? Thank you, Seth. I don't like the way that what they are doing to you, sir.
Yeah.
What?
I think it's a language thing.
I think it's a language thing.
Yeah.
All right. Because the start of that is like, wait, what? Anyways.
But thank you for answering that, Seth. I'm curious. I've been curious about that because, it's you never want to get tunnel vision and only look at one avenue. So, I mean, if there's anything that, someone didn't know about that was happening with some of the social media stuff or anything like that, it's important that they're still looking at that. So I'm just, I'd like to know that at least they're looking at it if they haven't ruled it out completely.
Yeah. Okay. Now, husband, I guess.
Oh gosh,
See,
it's 1:30 in the morning.
I know. And trust me, I could still stay on here and talk about this. But my husband does need to go to bed right quick. So I want to see quickly, is there anything by chance that somebody quickly maybe wanted to ask us something in chat quickly? Okay. Like we'll do first 3 questions I see and maybe Seth can answer them, type of thing. Other than that, you guys, again, if anyone's watching this channel now knows it, okay, this is about a channel that is about respect, trying to put the truth out there, and it's about how you treat other people, okay? Again, but I'm just saying this, doesn't matter if Seth's in here, we've said it before, we will not put up with Seth bashing on this. This man has a son that's missing, and he's been the epitome of what someone should do. So with that being said, most people know that. Every now and again, a little troll comes in here, and then we discard them because it's not about clicks or views. That it's about having people that are respectful to the others. Katie and Chris, they don't have my respect at all. Zero. I can bash them whenever I want. However, no, no, but you guys know what I'm saying, okay? So Seth, 1 second here again. Do you see any question there quickly, Fleming? I'm probably gonna let you play with the wrench a little bit. Okay, this is his Cash App. If you guys have some money, we don't have Cash App over here in Canada, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. But that's
Miranda Lee said, "I want to know if he thinks the 5 miles surrounding the house should be searched again."
Well, what was just searched last week? Like they literally just did some sort of overhaul last week of the search. I'm not sure how far it stretched out, but
right. Well, I was just reading the questions. Seth Rogers says, "I'm going to physical therapy for my C5 and C6 pinching the nerve that goes down my right arm." Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, is that like a sciatic thing? When I have to walk home.
Your C, yeah.
Yeah, I get a sciatic nerve that when I carry stuff on my right hand side, my sciatic nerve on my left hand side of my ass starts freaking giving me pain when I'm watching there. So I'm taking that like he's got a pinched nerve there.
Well, Sonny, you've got more than one. You've got more than one pain in your ass. I'm only one of them.
True that.
What am I saying? Oh, good night, Akira.
Oh, Akira, that's where well, I've lived in Alberta half my life, but that's where Charmaine is from.
Hotspot says, "Did Seth pass his polygraph, or did they tell you?"
Oh yeah, Seth, just to put that out there, I think he said, if I'm not mistaken, he said, because I remember somebody going, "What does it mean they're still scoring him or his score or whatever?" And to be honest with you, Seth, and even to Christopher, honestly, the polygraph thing, probably no, right?
But to answer Miranda's question, Seth said, "I am searching that area again."
Yeah. Thank you, Seth. Can I help you out with a Walmart order? I can donate. I can't donate to the link. Okay. Well, first of all, there's the GoFundMe as well. Right. Those things do help. There's an Amazon wish list,
Yeah.
Seth. Don't feel bad. People out there want to help you. If you create an Amazon wish list and stuff like that, because people like to donate in certain ways, right?
Yeah, but
So
you know, we all know where his focus is right now, so I get it. He's in survival mode. Seth said, "Oh, sorry, you took it down." Seth said, "They did not tell me. They should have never given me a poly because of the meds I'm currently on."
Oh, yeah. Well, let me just put it this way. Probably, like I said, honestly, at the end of the day, for even Christopher Proudfoot and yourself, a poly probably isn't and wasn't a wise idea, to be honest with you, because at the end of because the thing is that they're not used in court for a reason. You know, I get it. I feel like Seth was doing like, you know, Nancy offered, you know, he was a man of his word. He took the test. And then he explained to people like, look, freaking I'm on whatever. And then you'll have those people no matter what.
There's your husband.
That's husband.
Yeah. So that we did a few more. I saw one more question. We'll do really quickly. It says, Kaylin says, I want to know what Sebastian does to show anger and fear. It could help to know what he does in stressful situations. So Seth, if you read that, if you know, I mean, I know Sebastian was 15, you know, and you said that he acted a lot of times more like he was 10. But either way, you know, the way they express themselves is never consistent. So if there is anything that, you know, that stands out for you, Seth, you know, let Kaylin know there.
And you guys are very nice to offer stuff to send Seth from Walmart and stuff like that. Oh, trust me, I used to do a lot of little Walmart online orderings. I like the .com. RCA one sucks, okay? But anyways, you know, if he ever says yes or ever wants to, like I said, you know, well, maybe he'll. I think I've only said it 10 times, Seth. Email me at crimeyshame@gmail.com. Let me pass you over to Travis Williamson. I promise I won't stalk you or anything like that. Just if you want to talk to Travis, who is a lawyer, feel free. If you do want people to help out and you do happen to create at some point an Amazon link.
Right. We'd love to help.
So let me put it this way. I'm not sure what the financial situation is going on over there. And I know that you said it's like, you know, like this is because, you know, of, you know, at work, like, I'm not sure if you're getting, what is it called? You know, leave of absence, you know, if you get some sort of pay for that at all or not. I live in Canada, not the United States. I really don't know what you get either way. All this stuff to provide, like making shirts and stuff, having a cash app helps ease the burden on you because, again, you're trying to spend it looking for your son. And there's tons of people out there, as you can see by your GoFundMe, that do love to help on there. The scan code is in the right-hand corner on this.
And I did put our email in the chat, just so if Seth's still here and just wants to click on it.
Yeah,
it's right there.
I feel like I'm badgering him, but
no. Because I also was reaching out to someone because I know that, you know, most states have advocacy programs or asset programs for the families of missing people, and if Tennessee's not making that completely accessible to Seth, I'd like to be able to figure out how to help, because there are people that are put in those positions to help assist with exactly what, you know, like Seth's going through, sadly. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us all.
Okay. Yep. Okay, you guys. I might do another live tomorrow. I don't know. Oh no, well, you know, I'm actually working on a project, to be honest, for Sebastian that I'm working on. Just a video, but it's gonna take time. So I probably might work on that tomorrow. Depends. Friday we'll talk about Delphi and yeah, well, maybe Delphi. If not, again, Seth will be talking about Sebastian regardless on Friday.
I talked about Delphi yesterday on CD's channel. If you want to watch that,
we're good. We're good.
And
then.
go look for that.
We're good. We're good then. We're good then. Yeah. Anyways, so tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. I probably will work on my project then, so that on Friday I can show it on the live. For the time, like, anyways, I'm not even gonna do a spoiler alert. Just I'm working on it. Hopefully we'll see you there. Friday night, like I said. So the 26th is coming up. Will be 2 months for Sebastian. And anyways, you guys, we're gonna have to end this live. Seth, appreciate you coming into the chat and talking. Again, just do you, right? Don't let anyone ever tell you what to say, how to be. Just do yourself. Whatever you feel in your heart, you're Sebastian's father. And again, unless people walk in your shoes and stuff like that, they don't understand the same, for sure. Anyways,
but you do have a lot of people that that would want to help you however they can.
Yeah.
And I know that might sound like bullshit, but
that's true.
A lot of people do care. So
there is a lot of good people. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're gonna pray for you. We're gonna pray for Sebastian and.
Yeah. All right. So flood the chat for Sebastian.
I hope day 53 is the day.
That would be nice. Just some answers,
I didn't see Miranda. Look, sorry.
Okay, no problem. I'm just flooding the chat for a second. And okay, so the link for this shirt is in the description of this video. I've already put it there. The petition is in there as well. A few other links.
Thank you, Miranda. I took care of it. I missed that comment. I apologize.
Sonny, is Truth Warrior being a little shit?
Yeah, I deleted the comment. I did not block. I deleted it, and then they disappeared, so I couldn't block them.
Yeah,
there we go.
Don't have the time.
Thank you.
Hey.
Right after I deleted their comment, they commented again, so I was able to block and delete them. Thank you.
Okay. Anyways, again, right? Just have some respect, people. Come on now. It never ceases to amaze me. Let this happen to somebody in their family, and then let's see what smart asses they want to be or how ignorant they want to be. I don't get it. It's just ignorance beyond belief. I will stop by. Hi, Bossy. How are you?
Yep.
All right.
Hey, Bossy. Yeah, like just earlier tonight, I know you need to go. Just earlier tonight, I was watching a live stream, and it was just some random person in the chat. But they, of course, were like, "Oh, well, you know where Kelsey German learned to lie, because she was taught it by her grandma Becky." And I'm like, "Why be an asshole? Like, just go back to the cave you live in and just shut up, you troll."
Well, I was gonna say, just by the chance, hey Seth, I'm gonna let you play with that toy a little bit more. It's called the wrench. Yeah, you have the power. You have the power. See a troll. Seth is gonna be like, "Oh, frick, block that person. They said something about me. Block." Oh, anyways, okay, you guys, we gotta go. Thank you guys so much. Again, you guys can help. One second, one last thing. Love you guys all. Well, not all of you, most of you.
Okay. We will see everyone Friday for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so again, if you guys can help Seth out, I'm not sure if he created a Venmo, by the way, but anyways, there's the Cash App, there's the GoFundMe as well. There's the shirts right here. It's in the link of the description and stuff like that. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Please give this video a like and a share. Thank you, Aspen. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Twitter, as well on there. Look at that. There's 113 from Twitter and only 65, and it's a crime and shame. Wow. Gotta love Twitter. Gotta love tweet. Okay, I know I should call it X, but I'm not there yet.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So good night, everyone.
Have a good night. We're out of here. Thank you, guys. Take care. And prayers for Sebastian, of course. I guess I should find the outro. Ready? Let's go.
A Nordic night, the world is cold. I